before the judges made a ruling, before the jury came to a decision and the judge read the ruling out, I already knew what the outcome was going to be. And if that wasn't the outcome that had happened, then I would have been livid. I mean, there's nothing I can do, but it is clear that not only me that was watching had the same outcome, then it means her integrity, her name will be tarnished. That is not something of a national magnitude or where is a do or die affair. But you just know that the public, there's a court of public opinion. That judge's career would be dead. Now, coming to the Nigerian section, if this is going to be televised and for people to have access to, it takes away the pressure from the judges. Because we will be running our own daily commentary.
You think so? I don't think it will take away the pressure. The pressure will be more.
Analysis.
No, pressure in terms of giving judgments, the pressure will be more during the process. But at the end of the process, they will not find it difficult to do the right thing because we watched along as evidences were unraveling. So there is nothing they can do. So they will go back to their benefactor and say, as you see, as they see them, now so everybody they see them, how do you expect us to go against this? You understand? That is where I'm coming from. But obviously, the process, it will put pressure on them in terms of, are they looking okay? Did they say the right thing? Did I sit properly? Did I challenge appropriately? Things like that. But when it comes to making that judgment, I don't think it will be as weighty because they know that we've seen it all. So it is easy for them to make the judgment according to what the evidence is, which is gazillions. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Right. Can I say something real quick, please?
Okay,
yeah. So it's going to be in the interest of the judiciary to televise it live, and reason why is that everything is going to be in the public space. So we are going to see how the cases have been judged, the evidence is provided by every party to the petition, right? So it's going to make it easier because the judiciary are going to come clean. They're going to be clean. So if anybody want to bully the judiciary or say, hey, you guys doing this or you're doing that, we are going to know because we preview to it. We saw the evidence saw the evidence they're presenting, and we saw, and we have everything in our own very eyes. So when they give their judgment, the whole world is going to see. The whole of Nigerians are going to see that, oh yeah, it's free and fair. The judgment is sound because everybody was part of it. So if they want to do the right thing, and they want to like not stain their names, they should televise it live. That's the only way we're going to know that they're not playing some hanky panky.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I think it would televising it would kind of redeem the little dignity and respect people have for the judiciary. Because this is the last straw. This is the last straw. So and I think that even if they don't televise it, people will still know the names of the judges. Their faces will still be there because they're public officers. So whether they televise it or they don't want to do it, for me, like I said, I will be very shocked if they agree to do it. But I don't think with the kind of human beings we have in Nigeria in the judiciary, I'm sure they would say no.
You see,
but if they do,
judiciary themselves, right? They would want
if they do, I will be so surprised.
Then I will know that well, this is the only chance they got. I mean, which other chance they got? They've been messing up since day one. The Nigerian judiciary, they've been messing up since day one. Yeah. So if they don't do this, we don't know what else. How is they going to redeem the image? That's the only way.
At this point in our lives, so far, everyone who has come out to support the drug baron, everyone who has come out to support the present administration of Buhari, everyone, They don't have conscience. They don't care. So it's that same attitude that we are also using to judge the so-called judges. They don't care. They only look at maybe the green back. When they see the green back, nothing matters. Their name don't matter. Their family lineage don't matter. So that is why I still have doubts that they will ever want to be honest. I still have doubts because at this, I'm really, if you look at all of them, they don't care. Look at FFK. He doesn't care that he has said so many things and even used my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ's name to even swear. He doesn't care. They can even use their children to sacrifice.
Exactly.
They don't care. So
that is what I said.
Their reputation.
That is what I said.
We just need divine intervention, immaculate intervention.
Well,
immaculate intervention, because they're going to threaten them with their kids, they're going to threaten them with their jobs, they're going to threaten them with all the skeletons in their cupboard, all the illegal money they have. So
that's why it's in their best interest to televise.
That's why they got to televise it. That's why they got to televise it, because if they've been bullied, they can come out and tell Nigeria and say, listen, look, this is what's going on with us. We got this person bullying us, that person bullying us. You can say that right in the middle of the proceedings and say, hey, listen, yesterday when I left here, I got bullied by somebody from this person's camp or by this individual. So Nigerians can take note of that. And that's going to keep the judiciary safe. It's going to keep them safe. Because if they don't televise it and they go against these clowns, they might get them killed on their way home or in their house. So if they want to keep themselves safe, they got to televise it live. And if something goes wrong the previous day, they got to come out on national TV and say, listen, I got threatened yesterday by this person, that person. If anything happens to me, they have to. Well, they need to because they got to be safe. They have to.
They wouldn't even dare to come out and say, this person is threatening me. Which public officer have we seen, in Nigeria, have we seen that will come out and say, hey, these people are after me? There's no judge that would come out. There's no lawyer or son that will come out and say this person is attacking me or is threatening me. No, they wouldn't dare, because possibly some of them, as desperate as APC and Agbado Camp is, they'll probably even keep maybe their family member hostage. It's very possible. That's how desperate they can be. So if you keep a family member hostage, do you think you will come out and say they're doing that? And they don't care. They will do what they have to do.
Is this, Madam Rita, to be honest, these people will go to the highest extent of barbarity, of wickedness.
Yes.
For all we know right now, there's a lot going on in the lives of these people.
We have to realize the kind of people we are dealing with.
However, saying that, I personally want to believe that they themselves would rather want it televised, because it means it is out of their hands. You understand? It means it is out of their hands. The only people that would not want this televised is the APC Agbadomites. They wouldn't want it televised.
The Nigerian Bar Association, they should do some work and support this, televising the proceedings. The only time that they'll probably want to televise it is when they want to give judgment, if they have to. But you see, the NBA, we have associations that are affiliates of these kinds of people in the bench. They also have to come out to support this. But I heard somebody saying earlier on that what is the NBA doing? Yes, these are the kinds of things that we need to hear. Lawyers, independent lawyers come, but nobody's going to say anything. Nigeria is a country where everybody's scared. Everybody's even scared as we speak now to even talk.
Madam Rita, do you think in matters like this, does the opinion of the pressure group like NBA matter? Do you think it does? Like, just say in other countries, do you think NBA intervening will make a lot of difference? Not to talk of Nigeria.
I would not want to use other countries. Do you know why, SACM? Because other countries where things are done accordingly, we will not even get to the stage to even say whether we're arguing if they're going to televise it or not. In fact, they won't even get to this stage where we have somebody stealing our mandates, right? But in the context of Nigeria, because we're appealing to every well-meaning Nigeria, everybody in every profession to come and speak up, because the people who are causing this damage are professionals. We have PhD holders, professors, right? So these bodies, and I think the NBA won't come out, because I don't know if you guys know, within the NBA, they also have another subgroup within the NBA I've forgotten the Yoruba.
Fine.
There's a Yoruba name for Yoruba lawyers under the NBA. So since their brother, because most of them are going tribal now, since their brother is over there, I doubt, and that's why they had issue with Akpata as the president of the NBA. I mean, that case is still controversial till now. It's wavy. If you really look at the history of what's been going on when Akpata was, Olumide Akpata was NBA president, and then when he left, and then the person that was there before, and then they now bring the association of Yoruba Sons or Yoruba under the NBA. That's just another kettle of fish. I don't want to even go there. So you see why I say the NBA, some of them are quiet, because it still boils down to what they've pledged allegiance to, the cult they belong to. You understand?
Madam Rita, if you know, after the election, the chairman of the NBA, is it something Melafia or Malakai or something like that? The tone he came out
Mekiao, is it Mekiao?
Mekiao, yes.
I think Mekiao.
The tone when he came out and he was talking, I was livid. I was very livid. He was trying to give the election some credence to say that it was fair, apart from little skirmishes here and there. You can just tell that they've blocked his mouth. You know, so
you see the interest I have, the interest I have in televising this live is this. Apart from all the revelation pertaining to Tinubu, I want to see how they are going to, because this is English language. I want to see how they are going to interpret 25% of the total vote cast in at least 2/3 of the states and Federal Capital Territory. I want to see how they will be looking people in the eyes, the world, and be interpreting it, because I know what it means.
Sorry, CM. There's no other way. There's no other way they're going to interpret it. It is and. And means definitive, so they cannot interpret it any other way. And means it gotta be together, so that they cannot interpret that. It's English. And is and. And means conjunction. You gotta get 25%, and you gotta get and also.
Then we tell you legal interpretation. You know, that's why they say there's a legal interpretation. No, I believe you, because we are saying the same thing anyway. It's quite simple. It's English language. Otherwise, translate it into any native language in Nigeria. Translate it into Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, Fulani, Bini, Esha, and any language at all, Ejo, Ichekiri, just any language. It will mean the same thing, like what we are saying, this and this. Yes. Even Ozekome wrote it an article and then published. So, but you know, Nigeria, that's why when something like this happens, even when you know the answer, they say go to court. When you get there, you start to hear ridiculous things. There's something they're adding. Somebody said they will also tell you, hey, yes, there is irregularities, but it is not sufficient. You know, and that is another thing again. What a level of irregularity is sufficient? That is them to decide. They say, okay, but it's not
Mr.
sufficient.
CM, good evening, sir. How are you?
Yeah, who is speaking? Thank you.
It's me, Kingsley Binosa.
Okay, okay. You've been here before with now. You've been.
Yeah, I've been here about twice. I've been very busy lately, so I've been unable to join. But I've been listening after hours. Good evening.
We are playing the
you are weighing what will happen in the court, and I've been listening. Good evening, fellow panelists. Good evening, everybody. How are you all doing, brothers and sisters?
We're doing fine. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening.
God bless you, sir. But Mr. CM, listen, one thing I want us to be factual with is this: Nigeria is a totally different country, where people will see black and they will call it red. They will see red, they will call it yellow. See. People can do any kind of thing. They can interpret whatever they want to. That's your and that we are saying. They can turn it any way they want to, and nothing we will do about it unless we take a stand and say we will not take it. If they interpret it the way they want to, we as a people, we must not say enough is enough for this. One way or the other, we have to bring change home. That's the only way I see it, because in our country, so many good people have been compromised by all these thieves. We still, it surprises me that a lot of people, we still refer to them as leaders. I don't refer to most of these guys as leaders. These are misleaders and destroyers of people. of destinies. So people even call them rich. I don't see how you can consider these people rich. These people are bankrupt.
They're not leaders, they're termites. These are termites. Sorry.
Yeah, these are misleaders and destroyers of people. Simple as that. I don't call them leaders, I don't call them rich. They may have cash, stolen cash, but these people are bankrupt human. I will not trade my place in life with them.
Yeah, but
so I don't envy them.
Yeah, when it comes to that 25%, there's this lady that was speaking earlier today, Ireti Kingibe, the senator that was elected for
from FCT.
Yeah, so
under Labour.
Yeah, I wish Elvis can bring her here one day. Now, she made a good clarification of the 25%. She said, I think it was in 2015, thereabout, they needed her to actually win for Buhari. And then because they needed that, they came to talk to her, and then they said, oh, they are struggling with 25% in Abuja. And she said, no, they are not struggling. They already have over 40%, and then so that 20% is required. She went as far as even Yaradua. Though Yaradua did not win Abuja, but Yaradua got 25% in FCT. So that 25% is very, very mandatory. What I don't want us to do is to preempt the court. Let's not preempt the court. Let's leave them. We know, you and I mean, even though we are not lawyers, we know how some things should play out in the court. You just talk about evidence. What more evidence do you need? One person is not supposed to die in an election, but 88 people died in this past election. That on its own has made the election not only that it's not free and fair, it was the worst election in the history of Nigeria. Number two, INEC set a rule by itself that beavers will be a game changer. And I thank God that when particularly calling on Mikey Guinea, I mean, honestly, I do appreciate that family with the integrity. Do you know Mikey Guinea's sister was the one that hired us in UK? And I think Madam Busy Brain, I think she's the one that said, oh, I was in this walkout, this protest.
Yeah, okay.
And I saw Mikey Guinea's sister. She says she's going to come here. Now I came here, I called her Mike Guinea, and the sister called in and said, oh, don't worry, Mike will come here and speak. And Mike Guinea, those are, when Mr. Kingsley speak now, these are kind of elements we are looking for in Nigeria, men of integrity and character. Mike Guinea came and said 25% is needed. Now, Mike Guinea also went and sold a product called Beavers. I mean, Mike Guinea spoke with every iota of confidence, because he has stated it in over 100 and something election. The Beavers did not fail. So INEC set his own rule and broke his own rule. Lai Mohammed came to the US. He said, we saw how things were going, and because we are afraid, we turn off the Beavers for the presidency. That was what Lai Mohammed said. So
it's true. Yes, I heard it.
How much more evidence do you need that this election was not only a fraudulent election?
I knew it.
It was not a free and fair election.
And it was only in the presidential presidency that they turned it off.
Exactly.
Exactly. Because the same beaver was what they used for the other ones, and it works. It worked for the senatorial one. It worked for everything else. But when it got to the presidency, it didn't work. Isn't that fishy?
So they already. Now, that same Beavers was what brought Ireti Kingibe in FCT. It did not fail. Now, why did he fail for the presidency? That means INEC set his own rule. So these are things that the judges should be asking Mahmoud Yakub, why did you set the rule and broke the rule? And even question the presidency. Mr. President, sir, you said you wanted a free and fair election for Nigeria. Beavers, great. Mike Guinea, let's ask you. You went everywhere selling these products to Nigerians. Everybody believed it. Even the people went to go and get their PVC. You said Beavers was a game changer, which we also believe because we voted. So, Mahmoud Yakub, what happened? These are questions that the judges can ask them in the law, in the court, to only show that the election was not only a sham, it was the worst election so far in the history of Nigeria. So let's not preempt the courts. We all know that even though they said Tinubu has brought over $10 million and things like that, the court, the judges, they are not blind. They voted. The former president of NBA said in VGC, he had to call out INEC in VGC. That means they themselves voted. They know. So let's not preempt them. We can only go ahead.
Give us a mandate. You see, the thing is that they said that this thing they said when a child is beaten by what is it called? One type of a horse fly, very big fly. Beaten by a bee or a bee. It's not a bee that stings people. Yes, a bee. A bee is big. So when a child is beaten by a bee, whenever he or she sees a horsefly, he will be on the run. You see, this case should not even go to court because it's so open. It's just like everybody knows the judgment. But because of the country we are dealing with, that's why because people will always, even me, although I'm quite hopeful, my business on shaking, but then if you take a step back and listen to how Ahmed Lawa, the same court or the same judiciary, nothing. Babio, all these things you're hearing them. He said, maybe because those ones are not the presidential election, but then it's still the same judiciary. So what we are doing here, it might not really be preempting the court, but only trying to say, let the world hear us, let us analyze it. We're only trying to see what is in this evidence or trial, the evidence that we've not analyzed here, just by using common sense. For instance, 25% of FCT, we've analyzed it. Then INEC going to Chatham House and all those things, assuring people, provided their own guideline and decided to bungle it. Now, Lai Mohammed going to America to go and tell them, he never said this thing in Nigeria. Since when the debate was raging, what happened? He kept quiet only to go
he knows that he can either be lynched or probably stoned to.
So he now go to America. Imagine going to America to tell them, we deliberately turn it off when we see. Is that tap? Is that public tap? You feel that you can turn it on and turn it off. Why?
He should even be ashamed. An elder statesman.
Ashamed of telling lies. We know that is the way it is. So when you hear this type of story, it is true you may express 90% confidence, but that 10%, or even if it's 99%, that 1%, you still have to withhold it and say, look, this Nigerian judiciary you are dealing with. But I feel televising it live, like we've analyzed here, will even be to their own advantage. To first of all, like they said, what I read about Kenya on is that they said the Supreme Court in Kenya decided to make it public. He said they want to tell the world that they are really not corrupt, because that is to sort of to launder the image of Kenyan judiciary, because they feel that Kenya is one of the corrupt countries in Africa. Remember this man called Patrick Lumumba, the PLO man who gives lecture, very oratorical. He is a person that was put in charge of Kenya anti-corruption agents, KACC or something. But when the man was doing it the way it should be, just like P2B type of person, they find a way to frustrate the man and force him to resign and get out, so that the corruption will continue. So all these things are what the people know, the world know about Kenya. But when it gets to this Supreme Court case, the ones they have to make it open to tell the world that, look, this is the way it happens. So why can't Nigeria follow suit? And that is the reason, the principle behind what we are discussing here too, so that they could make it transmit it live, so that people will tune in and then listen. Remember when they killed Totam, Obasanjo Totam, it was a live debate at the National Assembly. Every senator got up, stood to get to your feet and say what you want to say and vote. So it sort of helped them. So this one, when we talk of Nigeria, we still have that reservation because it's unprecedented. Our judiciary is corrupt. Probably this is the opportunity for them to, to say all sins are made anew or something like that. They wear a new look in the interest of the people, because the decision of the masses is much more important than whatever constitutional provision you are going to bring up. The people decided and they saw it quite clear. I give way to others to say something.
Mr. CM.
Isaiah, yes, please.
Please, I would like to step in just for a few minutes. Give us our mandate. I see it's good to give the courts credits and allow them to do their jobs. But you see, what happened in the presidential election, February 25th, is just a little short of what the man at Adamawa State did. It's basically the same thing that man did.
Exactly.
Only that man didn't allow them to finish at all before he announced the winner. The Mr. Mahmoud Yakubu and INEC did just the same thing.
Exactly.
With impunity. So we cannot see these things and act as if they didn't happen. That man called the election, like we all know, 4 o'clock at night. And then not only that, everybody cried out that this thing is foul and they didn't listen. So if the judiciary really want to do, like you said, Mr. CM, the right thing, that is to clean up their name in the work on the world stage, they just have to look at those improprieties and give the right decision verdict on their case, because this is a very plain case. There is nothing to go look too much into. It's very plain. So many things we have violated. So many things.
Well, should we even be talking about the judiciary? Even I think they are also Nigerians. They saw it. They know what to do. These guys are.
It's like Mohammed, not a Nigerian like you.
Sorry. Good evening. Can I?
Yes,
can
please. Isaiah, yeah.
Yeah. Mr. CM, thank you very much. This is my first time having to. It's not my first time. I tried being on. I've always tried being on the panel section, and I always get kicked out. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. I know some people. They have the profession of. They have the tactics.
Where are you joining?
I'm joining from California. I'm joining from California.
See, now their morning be this.
He don't do, Oga, no judge us. Leave us. Not be our fault. We'll not make everybody there ahead of us. We're gonna leave us alone. Yeah, I've been following this program for almost a year now. I follow this program. When it started out trying to do all what it needs to do, I've been there. When you have lefties and the rest of them, I've always followed. But the kind of job I do, I'm not able to pay attention. I'm not able to contribute while I'm working. So I've been trying, but thank God today I said no, I was going to join, because what affects one affects all. We are Nigeria, and with what is going, I won't want to accuse anything. I'm only going to be angry with the marriage of inconvenience in 1914. That's the only thing I'm going to be mad at. I call it a marriage of inconvenience, because if it had not happened that way, we are not going to be seeing all what we are seeing today. A lot is happening and nobody cares. You are talking about the judiciary. I won't blame whosoever is giving them money. I'm only going to blame whosoever is going to be taking the money, because you are not being forced. There's no gun on your head. If you want things to work fine, you should be able to refuse and not accept it the way you want it to be. We are only going to create more problem. And for the information, if they take anything, they tell anybody that is going to be corrupt while going through this process, forget it. They should just watch out for it. People are going to be on them, and they will get the result they are looking for. I'm an activist, but I would say I'm an activist by birth somehow, because, during my university days, I was part of the student union government, and I went to most of the states, and I see what most politicians are doing. In fact, one of those states, I was asked to be given certificate of state origin just to be part of the state, because I said no, because I know sometime, someday, some of you will still come back to be the problem of the same situation. So the corruption it's inbuilt. It's not something. If Tinubu gives people money, they can say no, we don't want it. It doesn't make you look less. I won't blame him. Let's just face the fact. I'm not going to blame him. He's only taking advantage of what he has. He's not with the yam and he's not with the knife. He's only with one. So he's with the knife and he's giving the yam. So if you are taking the yam, you are telling him, no, you can't cut the yam the way you like it. We are going to cut it. That's where you have powers. So we should be able to look at what individuals should be able to bring to the table. If you want, somebody was talking about Mike Igini. The family decide to stand on that ground. So if Ariwola, the judge of the federation, decide to stand on that ground, it's going to bring a good name to his family. So choose the name you want for your family. Today we are having somebody giving us money in debt rather than in life, which is Abacha. Abacha gave us money in debt rather than when he was alive. But Abacha still died. Did Abacha carry all of those money with him? No. So you should ask yourself, if you collect all this money and something happened to you this minute, are you going to take that money with you? The only thing you are going to take with you is people to remember you for. What people will remember you for. So let go of that money. Just let go of that money. That money should not define you as a person.
Sorry, Mr. Adun, can I just interject briefly?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. When you say that nobody is putting a gun to their head,
yes.
You know, when they give them that bribe and they don't collect, they go to the next level.
Yes.
They will now go and blackmail them or take their family member and put a gun to the family member's head and say, if you don't do that, this is what is going to happen. So basically, by extension, there is a gun to their head. Now it is talking about how can they rise above that? You know?
Yes, I understand what you're saying, but don't forget we are talking of money, billions of naira. We are talking of money. And you know the situation of Nigeria. Everybody wants to be, they want to be an elite. Everybody wants to live big. Everybody wants to live large.
There are some people that will not collect the money.
That's what I'm saying. That is where I'm coming from. See, there are some people that are forced.
What I'm saying is the judge might not want to collect the money. They don't want to collect the money. But what is more than money has been taken away from them on condition for them to do what they want. So it's possible that it is their own child that is dear to them. That child is more than money. And they are being blackmailed, you know. So the question now is, how do they overcome such?
Sacrifice goes a long way. Sacrifice goes a long way. Sacrifice can come in any form. There are so many people that have lost so many things more important to them. Okay, look at the woman that died for Labour Party in Kaduna or so, or Jos. She never expected she was going to die. But just remember, exactly, the lady in the eye, exactly. No, I'm using the deaths. I'm not even using people that are still alive. I'm using the deaths right now. So these people, the ones that have died already, just know that a sacrifice has been made. They don't need to say it. They've acted it. They didn't plan they were going to die. But something has happened to them. They've laid their life to make sure that the process of what we want that should come has come, whether they like it or not. It's the same thing that can happen to somebody that is being given 8 billion. And even your last born, you've imprinted, when you say you've imprinted the spirit of sacrifice, of perseverance to say, no, we don't want it. See, let me tell you something. There's something I've come to know. Every individual that they are claiming they are high today, they are bigger elite. People make them. People make you. And if those people will start to say, no, we are not comfortable anymore, you will go down. The day we realize that people make person and not person making people, that is the day we will have power in our hand. If you give five people money and they collect, you become who you are. But if you give 5 people money and they refuse, you become less than you think you want to become. Because people will decide your fate.
In fact,
so I think in this instance, I think to make that sacrifice, I think, like I think I said it once, that for them, you know, yes, you are being blackmailed or something dear to you has been taken to you. Let Nigerians know.
No, exactly.
Let Nigerians know that you are being blackmailed to do the wrong thing.
That's what I said. That's what I said. So sorry, I don't want to interject. That's what I said was, when they form the panel, they gotta let us know what's going on. It might be difficult though, but they're gonna be threatened. There's gonna be a lot of drama with these old proceedings. They're gonna go bloody. These people are not gonna give up easily. They're gonna keep threatening the judge, the family.
Don't forget, you're not having one tribe in the judge. You have different tribes.
Yeah, I understand that. They got different tribes, but these people, they can go wherever extent they want to go. They want to go with this thing because they're not going to go easily. So the thing is, they got to have a live broadcast. Number one. Number two, if you feel threatened as a judge, you got to bring it up in the court. Like, I got threatened by this person. So when something happened, now we know who's responsible. The whole world can be privy to it. So they got to be transparent. That's the only way they got to be safe.
Okay, sorry. I want to say something right now. When you come about being threatened, there are so many rules to the game. Now, I want to ask you a question. When Funsho Williams died in Lagos, till today, did you get any result of what happened? Somebody will tell you. Some people know how he died, but they will tell you we need proof. So if you go to the court and say you have been threatened, they need a proof, because I'm so Nigeria now. I'm so tired. Anything you say, they say you want a proof. Even when that thing happened to you, but you cannot give a proof of how that thing happened. Your hands are tied. So you need to give a proof of the fact that, oh, they threatened you and those stuff. We need to see it. So if the woman that died in Jos now said, if she has said it earlier on that she was being threatened and she died, we don't need the proof. We know that she died because she didn't listen. She didn't want to play to their game. And we know something happened. It's not a must to have somebody die before we realize that these things are happening. Some of us, I'm happy with what the Obedience are doing. In fact, I was part of it. I know how many people I had to send money back home. I mobilized from here. I mobilized. I know what I did. During the election, I did not sleep 3 days. I'm a grown man with tears in my eyes. My wife looked at me and said, "Oh, are you crying because of election?" I said, "Because you don't even know what is happening. If you know what is happening in Nigeria, you will pity for some people." And I heard Mr. NWATCH talking about how people sell themselves just to make money. It's even going worse than that. Some people cannot eat 3 square meals. Grown up adults, they look for job they didn't see. When I graduated, I stayed almost 8 years. I couldn't get a job. I came out with a 2-1.
You don't go US.
No, I go Apple now. I charge. I stayed. I was working where I was working. I was in contract for 6 months. They don't care, because the company and the federal government, they didn't plan to say, okay, this is not how this organization should run. Most companies in Nigeria should be able to, they should intertwine with the government and see how the government should plan this. So many things are going wrong in Nigeria. But you only like to take the grace of God. I'm happy for my Benin people. We know they carry last. I'm sorry to say, I'm not being tribalistic here. But we they put our leg for ground. Anywhere you go in the world, Benin people, if you say this is yes, we are saying yes. The day Obi came out, we spot, they say spot the difference. We spotted the difference and said this man should come. And we follow go. That was how we start mobilizing everywhere. Like I said, I mobilized from where I was. It's so painful I couldn't join the rally they did in LA the last time. There are things we need to be involved in. Everybody needs to be involved. We should stop talking from the back of our house. I know they believe anybody that talk from the back of their house. If I want proof, I want to see you there. We are all pushing one thing. Zobu, or let's follow go. I've been there. I've met people. I've crossbreed. I've crossed everything you think of. I've met different tribes in my life. My brother, we only need to change the government. That is all I have to say.
We really need. Okay. Thank you, Isaiah. I think Victoria Ade, Madam, you've been here. We've not heard from you for how many minutes? Over getting to an hour. Victoria Ade and Ed, and then Timothy.
Hello.
Yeah, hey, Victoria, you they sleep?
No, I'm just kind of listening to everybody talking, and it's sometimes
we are projecting hope that the judiciary
amen
will fail
to
us.
that. Amen to that.
That is a basic thing. The judiciary should not fail. They should be on the
I
side of
hope
the people.
so. It's either way. I've listened to some people say if they televise say it's going to take the pressure off them. Some said if it's still going to put pressure on them. There's been for and against. Personally, I would like to say it's televised. Will it put pressure on them or alleviate pressure from them? Well, it depends on what they want to do. To me, this is my thought. It's just like you watching me do my job. It's just not a bother to me if you are standing there while I'm doing my job. It's not a bother to me at all. Either or, I will do the right thing. Either you are there or you are not there. So it's really not a bother to me. But you see, because I'm always going to do the right thing in your presence or behind you. So you're watching me or not watching me, I don't think it's going to make any difference. And it is an opportunity for them to, when you want to talk about open door policy and transparency, it's like I said earlier or before, I said Nigeria is sick. Everybody is going crazy. We all are going crazy. It's just going to help our mental stability for us to say it live, you know. But on the other hand, the way everywhere is tensed up, they might be worried about the safety of the lawyers, the people present in the call, the people representing each party or every individual, say Agbado's camp lawyers, Shetima's lawyers, INEX lawyers, because of the tension in the society, they might not want to televise it because they probably do not want to disclose the people, the lawyers,
or the witnesses.
Or the witnesses. So that's why sometimes some things are not just cut and dry. You have to have a rationale for each decision you make. So yes, it's gonna be really nice to have it done, but Nigeria, like I said, everywhere is tensed up, and for confidentiality's sake, they might not. That's why we always have to look at both ways or view things in different dimension. But we are saying they should televise it. I think 75, 80%, or 100% of obedient people want these things televised because we don't trust them. And really, I think someone said it on Arise one day that they televise it, they don't televise it. If they're going to do nonsense, they will do nonsense. After all, anyway, we saw Mahmoud live and direct. He still did rubbish. He didn't say, oh my God, everybody is watching me and blah, 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 blah. He still went ahead and did his nonsense that he was paid to do. He still did it. So right now, to me, our concentration should be that God should arrest every individual in that courtroom to do the right thing. We should just keep our finger crossed, hope alive, and support it with a little prayer. That God should just, get it. They said the heart of man is in the hand of God, and he tosses it wherever he wants. So they should just, because we are on the truth side. We are on the righteous side. And that's why I'm here. Not really because Labour Party, I'm not a loyalist. Okay, I am not a loyalist. I cannot say, CM is doing, I'm loyal to CM. So even if CM is doing the wrong thing, I stand by him. I am not a loyalist. But truth is sacrosanct. I am on the side of the truth. So at any time when CM is doing anything and it's the right thing and it's the truth, you will always see me by the side of CM. Not because, I like him or I'm a loyalist. I am not a loyalist. And people that are not loyalists are usually trustworthy people. So televise, fine. If they don't televise it, if they do not, they also have their own reasons, and it's okay. We need to always see this thing, either way. We just pray they do the right thing.
Just don't forget what you're about to say. This in televising it, I feel they will restrict. This is a scenario I'm thinking about. they will restrict in terms of physical presence, people coming to the court premises, not just in the courtroom, but around the court, probably restrict it insofar
Yeah, those are you are enumerating the advantages of televising it. Yeah, that's part of the advantage.
Insofar that everybody will be at home, tune your NTL, ITV, I mean whatever channels or anything.
Those are part of the advantages of doing that. But they too will have their own arguments, why they will not. If either way, people will still not troop into the courtroom because there's going to be law and order, there's going to be security, and there's so much that the court can take. All obedience cannot go there. I bet 100% obedient people want it televised. Almost 100% of APC people don't want it televised. So there has to be a melting point.
Sorry, Madam Victoria, can I interject you right now? Sorry, can I say something?
Please do.
Is it
Isaiah.
Okay, Isaiah, okay.
Yeah. So I want to say something. You said something about if it's your job that you're doing and you're doing it very well, you want everybody to see it.
No, I didn't say that. That's not what I said.
He said it doesn't matter whether you are.
That's what I'm saying.
If you give me a job to do, if I'm a cleaner, you give me a job to do in your house, you watching me or not watching me, it doesn't make any difference. That's what I said.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, it's part of your job. Being a cleaner is part of your job. That's what I said. If it's a job being given to you. So what in this case right now, the judge is going to be worried because two things involve. For some of them, they want to do the right thing. For some of them, they don't want to be monitored so that they can have room to take decision they want to take without having people to see it, without having you calling them out.
I already answered that question.
Yes.
If you're watching them or you are not watching them, we were all watching Mahmoud, right? He did what he still got to do. He did what he wanted to do.
But Mahmoud is different from the judge. Mahmoud is just few hours.
I mean, it's a human being. The judge is not a robot. We all watched Adamawa's case. It was televised. He still did what he got to do. He still did it. So either way, it doesn't really matter if you have a bad mind. If you are a corrupt person, you are corrupt. You still will do what you have to do. It is watching or not watching. That is not the factor. The factor is the principle of that particular individual.
Thank you very much. That's also what I wanted to. That's what I was trying to bring up.
The factor, you're watching me or you're not watching me.
No, exactly.
You can put me in a bank and have me work in a bank and nobody is watching me. If I'm gonna steal, I'm gonna steal. Even if the camera is right on top of my head, if I'm gonna steal, I'm gonna steal. I'm gonna find a way around it. So it is the individual or the individuals that matters, and I've spoken for and against. If they choose not to, it's not because they want to be really corrupt. That's why they choose not to. We have to consider people's safety also. For example, I've already said this, people in Agbado's camp, they might think, all those lawyers might think, well, if they are arguing that and is not and is when their life and the family of their lives out there might be threatened. We have to respect that. We want our mandate, but it's not that we want blood in our hands. Because people and the country, everyone is bleeding. Everyone is angry. Some people are ready to
Victoria, sorry for cutting you short. But when you say that by televising it, their lives is at risk, don't you think that people already know who they are because we've got access to the internet?
But you don't have a proof.
But you don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know if we have. I don't. Do you have access to all these 60 lawyers that is it 60 or 65 that LP has or B has? Do you know all the 60?
So you are extending.
You can.
I'm saying people generally. I'm talking about the witnesses. I'm talking about all the lawyers from Agbado. People with standard. People will testify. It's not just the 13 judges.
That's a fair point that you.
I mean, if I have to even look, even on these ordinary platforms, some people don't want to show their faces. I don't want to show my faces. Some people don't even want to stay on the camera and speak against some certain people because of safety of going to Nigeria. So you have to give that some adequate respect, either for Agbado or for LP, either or. I can go testify for LP now, then I stepped out and somebody from Agbado shoots me, or vice versa. So safety matters.
Yeah, now we're looking at it from the wider.
You have to always look at things collectively. You cannot isolate issues just because of these certain things. We can't.
They said if
you have to look at things broad. You have to look at the whole scenario. You can't
Madam
just
Vicky,
pick a point.
Madam Vicky, sorry to interject. They said if you speak, you will go. If you don't speak, you will go. I want to ask you a question. If right now, the way you are, you have 90% of what will set Nigerian free, and they tell you if you put it down, you lose your family member or your marriage or your husband, what will you do?
If
you have 90% of what will set Nigerian free, as far as this panel is concerned, and they tell you if you put it down, you will lose either your family member, your children. God forbid, nothing's going to happen to any of your family. And they said you are going to lose this part of this family member. What are you going to do?
I'm going to have to tell them they should give me time to think through it. I don't think I will be able to answer that question on the spot.
Okay, that is the same thing the judges are thinking through right now. They've thought it through. They are going to be thinking it through for a long day in their life.
I have to weigh every circumstances, and because I am not Jesus Christ, I don't think I want to lose my life or lose my family member. No, but we all have to do what is honorably right. But I'm not going to do things in the detriment of anybody's safety. Okay, if I tell my husband that, listen, honey, if I do this, you're going to lose your life. You say, no, why not your own life? Why my life? So, I mean, that is not really a very good example. But I would have to.
The price is too much. If you have restricted the option to say the person say
but if you are talking about money that will I collect 2 million to sacrifice the people in Nigeria? No, I'm not. 2 billion. You know,
no,
I am someone that is I'm a person that is already very contempt. You see, consumption is very, very important. I don't think we were talking the other day about all those rubbish. 90% of the cars that he has, I don't like them. They don't thrill me. They don't move me. You understand what I'm saying? I'm like, oh wow, no, they're nonsense. You can't sleep more than one room. You know?
Yeah.
You can be comfortable in your house. I don't see him as rich. I don't see. I mean, when I saw him, I don't weigh any importance to him. I don't see him as he flees of cars. Bullshit, nonsense. In fact, the way we talk, I didn't give him that accolade or that respect that is sent. I just spoke to him, and what the heck with Nigerian money anyway? They don't train me. But when you see them as higher and mighty, then they start bugging for you. But when you see them as, you know what, I'm even better off because I'm not a thief, you are. And then he will shut up. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, that is about televising or not televising. I will speak for and against. And either way, there's no right or wrong. It's just your rationale. Your rationale and this person's rationale. For the safety of people taking the stands, the witnesses, for Obi witnesses, for Labour Party witnesses, for the APC witnesses, everybody, they got to play it safe. So for and against, either way, even if they do it in the dark hour, God will touch their hearts and do the right thing and the lawful thing and the just thing.
Amen.
Having said that, my other point that I want to make is my personal observation. Few pictures of Tinubu that I saw, you know, at the later hours or at the later days of the campaign, after the campaign and stuff like that. I gave him a thorough observations. It looks like he's very jaundiced because his sclera are very yellow. And being jaundiced, I think he's having liver problems. And I keep saying he's seriously sick. In the event that he cannot be sworn in because he's sick, what's going to happen? I asked this question before because one of the days, Mr. Elvis
they will never because of sickness not swear him in. At most, they just manage to keep him on stage. After that, they whisk him away.
Well, it depends. It depends on how sick you are. When you are really sick and intubated and your liver is failing, you can't stand. You are on the wheelchair. Though if you can.
APC can turn yam. They can turn yam to egg. Don't worry, they can do anything to.
No, that is like when they want to turn yam to egg. That's not sickness. When you are truly sick, have you seen sick people before? I'm not saying sick in the head. I'm saying physically sick in your body.
Unless he cannot stand up. They don't mind.
But he was not even able to stand up for some time. And this is a guy that already had knee problems in the past. And he wasn't able, they had to prep him up in few places. Even when he was giving his acceptance speech, the wife and someone on the other side had to prep him up.
Sister Victoria, how are you? Good evening.
Good evening.
How are you? I don't even want to contemplate or even think of seeing this guy sworn in. Honestly.
Exactly.
I don't even
That's
want
why
to
I'm asking
there.
the question in the event, because, you know, when we are praying, listen, when we are praying that we don't want him swaying, we don't want him swaying, we have to have plans that are, because we believe our prayers will be answered. So we need to start deliberating on, okay, how do we move when he's not there? What if the case is still going? What if the case is still going and he cannot be sworn in? Is it going to be Shetima that will be sworn in, or is it going to be the
inauguration will be moved?
Shetima also has a case.
The inauguration will be moved. The inauguration will be moved.
Can I ask a question?
The date will be shifted.
Please,
yes, I guess.
Ed, I called you earlier. I don't know where
you were.
So
yes. Actually, you called Madam Victoria before me, so I had to give her the floor.
Okay.
Yeah. So my
who is speaking? Who said they came from? No, I was there before Ed.
No. I didn't say I was here before you.
He said I
called you before me.
Okay.
So I had to. Yeah. Sorry. So the question I want to ask is we're talking about.
Ed, if you don't mind me, Ed. Hello. Ed, if you don't mind me asking, where are you joining us from?
I'm from North Carolina.
Okay. Everything is US. Okay.
Yes. So the question I want to ask
you will only get US people at this time. Do you expect to get London people at 3 o'clock in the morning?
I'm here now. London person is here. I'm keeping Augusty and company.
I greet you. Madam Busy Brain, we greet you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. NAIJA Watch, his mouth, NAIJA Watch mouth will be running pra. Now he has dozed off. If you are saying, now he has slept off now. God catch him. See, there's somebody God cannot catch.
Yeah. So my question is, I don't know how much Tinubu has been incapacitated by sickness, but I don't see that stopping him from being sworn in, because the swearing in is really a ceremony, and all he needs to do is to be able to recite the oath, right? So he can do that on a wheelchair.
What if Tinubu right now, Tinubu that have not given a sentence, we've not even seen him physically give a sentence. What if he's intubated right now?
Okay. You mean in the extreme?
What if he's on a life support, waiting for liver transplant?
Okay, okay. Now I get your question. But if that's the case, which is
what if they tell him wherever he's hiding right now that it's unsafe for you to fly back?
My dear
These
Auntie,
Well, maybe they will do Zoom swearing in, Sha. I don't know.
That's also a possibility.
Let me tell you something. I came across something online where prosthetics. I thought the person I was looking at was this British actress, but the person took off the thing like a dress. So you can be looking at somebody thinking the person you are looking at is who you are looking at, but they are just wearing it. It's a mask.
Honey, all those ones you are talking about, they are all propaganda. I'm talking about reality. When someone is sick, there's nothing you can do. All this,
Madam Victoria.
All this, Buhari is clowned. Buhari is cloned. All those ones are fake news.
Can I address? Can I address
the prosthetic where it's a person they take it off like a mask? It is not. It is out there. It is.
There's no
propaganda. But that person cannot be bedridden like we are trying to make. If Tinubu is seriously sick, I don't think a prosthetic.
Tinubu is. I've been telling you guys. Tinubu is seriously sick.
It's not Tinubu that would be going to go for the swearing in. They will take a body double. Don't we have the body doubles?
Yeah, that's an extreme possibility.
I don't know what the the body double is, and I don't believe in that. I don't believe in it.
Madam Victoria, there has been cases of...
They do.
I'm not saying there are not. Don't get me wrong. I always like when you quote me right. I am not saying there are not. I said I do not believe in it.
Okay.
I didn't say there are not.
Because we are saying it.
No.
Mr. Victoria.
Yes, sir.
Like in Russia, during Joseph Stalin's time, he had about 4 different people that was taking his place when you don't want to show up. And they look just like him.
Hitler did it twice. Hitler did it.
Saddam Hussein had his own body double. Yeah. So those are actual realities.
They do it in movies. It happened in movies.
Yeah, that's if he's extremely incapacitated. But if it's a case where he can still talk and enunciate words, even if he's on a wheelchair, he can.
No, you can't bring him on a wheelchair. I don't think they will do it. No, I'm not sure. I'm telling you, you cannot.
We've seen it happen. No, we've seen it happen.
It can.
Yes, it can only happen because they don't care about Nigerians. Not having our president on a wheelchair. They want to bring that shame. I know what I'm saying.
No.
I mean, as a Nigerian right now.
Please, Mr. CM,
they don't care. I agree, they don't care.
No. Yeah, we can have that extreme possibility.
Let's get it, please.
Yeah, because and you might see that as a thing of shame because of what we've been used to in Nigeria. But the current governor of Texas, for example, is on a wheelchair, Greg Abbott. So it's not so much of. It's not a far-fetched reality. As if we're being honest. It's not a reality we also want to have. We definitely do not want to see this man being sworn in. And that brings me to the question of the whole adjudication process for the tribunal and then taking it all the way to the Supreme Court, whether or not it should be televised. You see, the problem with Nigeria at this point is that there's a lot of trust deficits. Chimamanda Adichie, when she was being interviewed by Arise TV, said Nigeria is a low trust country. So it's as in that means that for trust to even be restored in a little way, maybe televising this thing can be a good way to go. Because it's a tenet of justice that justice should not just be done, it should be seen to be done. So the problem we have today is that the reason why we believe this election was rigged was that there were a lot of reasons that we could see. If it was a case where probably they didn't go to the extreme and, they gave Mr. Peter Obi his fair numbers, we probably would say, okay, yes, he didn't win his election, but there was too much that was done to compromise the election to the point where, it's hard to believe Tinubu even got up to half of what he got because of what we've seen. And so that's why it is necessary that there be trust in the system. If you in Obasanjo's first term, we had the Justice Chikudifo Oputa panel. You know, there's something not just from a legal or justice perspective. There's something therapeutic about having those kind of, you know, open hearing. You know. And that's
I said it's good for our mental capacity, mental stability.
Yes.
Everybody's crazy. I said that, but you have to always look at things on both sides.
No, I'm coming to that point, Madam Victoria. You said something about the security implication, the risk, and I'm going to address those.
Okay.
You know, because like we know, like the racially motivated court hearings in the United States, for example, like the Derek Chauvin cases and other cases. It was good for those cases to be televised, because in that case you could prove, or at least show to the people who are aggrieved, that you are making an extra effort to engender justice in the case. And then now to the issue of security. We also know that there were a lot, like I watched the Derek Chauvin's trial. There were a lot of witnesses that were brought on that were anonymous.
Whose trial?
Derek Chauvin's trial for the George Floyd issue.
Yeah,
you know,
go ahead.
There were witnesses that were brought on that you could hear their testimonies, but you couldn't see them. There were also like minor witnesses that were minors, right? That you could hear their testimonies, but you couldn't see them. So it all boils down to technology. And then the whole issue of obedience wanting to flood the courts. The reason why they want to flood the courts is to be part of, is to be part of it, like to be part of that process, right? But if you put this thing on TV for them, there might be a reduced desire to go all the way to the courts. So I think that it's a win-win situation. First, the security issues can be dealt with by just screening out like the visuals of whoever is going to testify. As for the lawyers, that's already public information. If you look at the case that was filed, all the names of the lawyers, all the names of the counsels for LP, for APC, you see them, appended there, maybe in the last page. So that's already public knowledge. It's just that, okay, maybe bringing them on TV makes it, just brings it closer to us. But if you really want to know who the lawyer is, if you want to know who the judge is, you just need to buy a newspaper and you're going to be able to find that, or go on the internet. That's if you're that desperate. But these are already public knowledge. The only thing that I think we should be concerned about is the witnesses. And from the cases that I just alluded to, it's possible to have just the audio of their testimonies and not their visuals, if we are really serious. So this whole thing, the whole legal process, still boils down to the seriousness or the commitment of the current government to see that justice is being done, right? Because even if the judge should, we've seen this government, for example, violate, or disobey court orders before, right? And we also know that the current government and the current CGN, for example, which is supposed to be the head of the judiciary, has appeared to be partisan in the public space. For example, he's made some comments about how the G5 were his friends. It used to be that judges were heard, not seen. But we know what's been happening since this Buhari's tenure. I mean, with even the Justice Tanko and now Justice isn't Ariwola or somebody's name? I don't know what his name is.
Ariwola.
Yeah, Ariwola. Okay, thank you. So I think it might help our trust deficit as a country, and it might have therapeutic benefits if this thing is streamed live. That's my 2 cents on it. Thank you.
I am on the side of having it televised. I want it televised too. And I am the United States also, and I want it televised. And regardless, I will be up 24/7, 72 hours straight to watch this case. But I speak for and I speak against. So if they choose not to go through doing all those just audio and stuff like that, if we are not going to be seeing them and stuff like that for their safety, well, they have the right to. One thing you should understand is in life, you have a right, I have a right. So sometimes someone's right does not supersede the other. So if they don't want to, well, if tomorrow we wake up and they say, okay, they declared Obi, nobody will be worried that they did not televise it. Nobody will be worried. Nobody will be angry that, well, Obi won, but yet they should have televised it. Nobody will care about that anymore. The reason we want it televised is just because, like we said, the country is just a corrupt country and nothing works. Yes, and it's a shame because, yes, we have seen even the Supreme Court gave orders and they did not follow. Up to now, I don't even think INEC has given us what we needed to file our case. They did not. And they have a court order too. When they changed money, they gave court order. They did not. They don't follow rules and order in that country. Even if Supreme Court rules that they should give this mandate back, will they? God will help them. God will help us all. So, I mean,
yeah, see this sorry, bro. Sorry, Augustine. Yeah, these things happen because some people see themselves as so powerful.
So powerful when one person
exactly, you can't be too powerful than the people.
Yeah, one person is more powerful than the people, and
it's so annoying.
Unfortunately, we will not be in this situation if the current government is PDP and Tifnubu is APC and we are LP. It will be a little bit, but everybody down the line, they are all APC. So it's really a very tight stuff. We need the divine intervention. Apart from our, concrete evidence, we need God to touch their heart. We need God to intervene. And by God intervening somehow, you might be knocking Tinubu off. Because when you are praying, sometimes you don't know the dimension where the prayer is going to work from.
Mr. Sien, so Sister Victoria, how are you?
Sir, fine, thank you.
Okay. Timothy, I wanted to ask a question, Mr. Sien.
Okay.
About Tinubu's dual citizenship. Is the court going to even attend to that? Are they going to deal with that at all? Because
okay, continue.
Because if they will deal with that, that has totally disqualified this man from being a president in the first place.
Yeah, but I think the way the court educates on this is that it's a pre-election matter, right? So
I won't see it.
No, it's not really. They won't see it that way.
I don't think that is how the court. I don't think that is how the court saw it because it's a pre-election matter. No. To me, let me explain it. One, that was not included in the petition. They still
That's what I wanted to say.
Listen,
exactly.
Court, this law thing is not easy. Even if you see somebody kill somebody, it's not automatic. You still have to go and bring evidence, proof, this, that, and some other lawyers will defend that killer, even though they all saw it happen. Okay, now. It was not part of the petition. And in order to add it to the petition, it's another process. You have to go to court and appeal and include. And you have to have proof. You have to bring evidence. You have to bring this. You have to, and I don't think they do. We can't just go by internet paperwork.
But sorry, Madam Victoria, can I interject a little?
Hold on, please. I think what Madam Victoria said, I agree with that because we've seen the original petition filed by Labour Party and P2B. The issue of citizenship of another country was not there. However, like she pointed out, if now that it's been discovered, I think there's a way to either to how to amend all those things, but that is a procedure. However, if they accept it, the fact that what we read in the Punch, somebody from Guinea Embassy or High Commission in Lagos or Abuja confirmed that really, yes, they gave Tinubu that. That is also an evidence to that extent, but until it is included anyway.
So, Augustine, what I wanted to say, so what I wanted to say is, if
court cases are not court cases doesn't deal with emotions.
So what I wanted to say
they
is,
don't deal with sentiments.
Madam Victoria, what I wanted to say is, yes, we agree. But what I wanted to add up is, if with all the case you said they submitted, don't forget there are some things that might not be added there for people. They just indicate it. So if there's any issue of perjury that will come up, that we don't know because I've not read that part of it, if it's added, or maybe other things that have been added and linked to it, they can as well bring it to the court. It's part of the defense. But if there's nothing linking it to say this is what they are going to be presenting in court, that means they cannot present it. Somebody else has to go and
what I
file
know
a
about
lawsuit.
court cases is that is that if you and I have a court case, I'm the prosecutor. If I am the one taking you to court, everything I'm going to use against you, I will have presented it to you and your lawyer so you can go and prepare your defense.
Yes.
So I cannot come with pleasant surprise. No, that is when you will hear objection, my lord. Then both of you will come towards the table and discuss it. They will say this was not part of the exhibit. Where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No, it's okay.
They call that disclosure. This is disclosure before you go to court. You have to let everybody know
that's what I'm saying. You have to have disclosed it to the other party so they can go and prepare their evidence. So it's not their defense. They can go and prepare their defense. So they can't just come out of the blue and bring something up without being discussed. Yes, they can also go to the court and go say, okay, this one we just have a new discovery, a new witness is coming. We want to present this thing. Is it okay? Both parties we are sent to the table.
Yeah, it's
to
true.
fight what you are fighting, and it will come true.
If you
so for me, I am not
charge,
worried with the case. I am not worried with everything that I've seen there. Yeah.
If you submit a charge, you put your opponent on notice. If you amend the charge, you also put him on notice. It's as simple as that. It's just the way
the court is not just talk emotion. Somebody can kill themselves right now in that court law, in that court room. And they will still need proof and evidence.
We all know.
So it's not just something emotions, but it's good. I think Obi and his people are going to try and include it.
Yes, I think Labour Party should do that.
Include all of these things is going to cause adjournment.
I know they will include that. I know. I perceive it.
They have to include it, but they have to have concrete evidence in order to also do that, and that also will speak to the character of the kind of person he is.
Okay, please let's hear from
Amen
Timothy.
to that.
Let's hear from Timothy Worth. I don't know the second word's name, but Mr. Timothy, I believe, say Mr. He was showed before. Timothy, okay, Beniza Debi, Mr. Debi,
I'm here.
Talk to us.
I'm doing good, brother. I'm doing good, everybody. I'm just listening because, I want to follow everybody along. And there's been a lot of, talk back and argument, counter argument and whatnot. The thing is, I still stand on the ground that all evidence is got to be brought into the court, into the tribunal. And they're gonna have to televise. The reason why they're gonna do that is because we want something free and fair. Somebody said, "Oh, what about Funsho Williams?" It's not the same. It's not the same at all. This is a issue of national interest right here, and it's not just Nigeria. Everybody knows about it. Not everybody knows about Funsho Williams. not all Nigerians don't know Funsho Williams, but this is a national discourse here, and this is much more fundamentally strong of a case than Funsho Williams' situation. So they need to put all evidences forward, and they need to make it an open case discourse, so that way we can follow and the whole world can follow. I'm sure there are other countries who want to be who just want to see how this is going to lead. So for us to have a good image as a country, and for us to be presented in the right light on the world stage, they got to televise it just like the other country, just like Kenya did. And so, however the case goes now, everybody knows. We see the evidence, and we're going to see how the judge going to call it. So that's the first thing that we need to bear in mind. Secondly,
the network. Hello, team. Hello, Ade. Oh dear.
APC has struck you.
Network.
They're everywhere. They're everywhere. Oh, God pass them.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Sorry.
Yes, we can. I can hear you now.
We can hear you now. Continue.
Yeah, I know for sure the APC, they're on bullshit, but it's not going to work here. We got a mission. So what I'm saying is, I'm in support that they televise, and I'm in support that they keep it open. So that's just how I see it, and it has a big advantage. If it is a principle, we're still going to prefer they keep it open, because it's just bigger than just like a couple of judges in closed doors with iron gate and security. It's not going to be good for the country. So all parties should be in favor of having it televised nationally. So for those who know they got nothing to hide, they should be advocating that this case be on national TV, the APC. If they don't want that, then they got skeleton in the cupboard. So if you know you're on the side of truth, then you should have the case open and publicly televised. That's my submission for now.
Okay. Timothy, maybe he's still not available. Hello, Timothy. He's not. Anyway, the thing about is that we've more like express hope, despite our reservation that good conscience will come over them. They will televise it at least, like what they said in Kenya. They said the Kenyan Supreme Court has to tell the world that they want to prove to them that they are not corrupt. They can be transparent. May Nigeria take the same copy from them? That's what we want.
Amen.
Nigerians have suffered. The level of suffering. To be honest with you, sometimes I don't think there's any country in the world that can sustain the type of impunity and the suffering Nigerians are going through. People have seen suffering as a way of life every day. Apart from the insecurity, the cost of living is so high. I can never believe in my life that you will earn your own money. Say you're a bricklayer, doing all the hard work, sweating. Then you take your money because they are going to change it. You rush it to the bank and put in your own money. Then for you to take it out, it cannot be equal to what it was before. I can't believe it. It will ever happen. In other words, 1 naira is not equal to 1 naira. And yet, what can you do? You want to take 10,000, they say they are going to give. Think before they say it's 8,000, and now I may say 9,000. What happened to the 1,000? They say, I don't know. This is in Nigeria. I can't believe it. So you can imagine the level of suffering. And keeping it at home is not the best. So a lot. That's why sometimes when I look at this and I say, God, maybe this is the worst, this is the greatest suffering we will go through. After that, then we now see a ray of hope. Nigerians, those that want to say something about the past, they will tell you it wasn't like this before. Things were at least, when you say you're a Nigerian, at least you can see something to eat. But now, the money you are having, you want to go and withdraw it from the bank. It cannot be the complete. You can't get it that way. You go to POS, they charge you. This is your own money. You are not exchanging it for dollar or pound or euro. Your own money, naira to naira, from the bank. No way.
Buhari come and tell us to forgive him. Eh?
Exactly. Because sometimes when you put something in perspective, that is when you now know the enormity of what Nigerians are going through. I was on this NAIJA watch. I don't know whether some of you will remember. Somebody filmed from Senegal. A man said the wife swore that she can never step foot on Nigeria. Said because the life in Senegal is so comfortable. Senegal, African country. They are compared. He said he can't come back. I felt ashamed that day. Somebody from Gambia has phoned one day and said the same thing. So you see, that is to tell you, because when you rate Nigeria with other African countries, you know the level of suffering. Before, in those days, they say, when my dad was alive, Nigerians will say, if it were in US, if it were in America. That was in the 80s or 90s. Now, can you say if it were in Ghana? Sierra Leone, Nigerians living in Sierra Leone can tell you they are better off than living in Nigeria. So the level where we've descended into is only that when you look back and analyze it very well, you feel you don't just, though you have to blame the government, but you feel sorry for humanity. How did we get to this level, and where is the end in sight? That's why I always believe, I don't care. P2B say they're announcing a president today. I believe at least one day in the life of every Nigerian will be added. At least one, because that hope, people will say, oh, at least let us see what this man, with his transparency, with his character, he's not part of the run, he's not front of the mill. At least nobody can tell him that P2B did this or that. He threw a challenge. If you know what I did, go through my past. If you bring anything, I stop campaigning. Till today, nobody can come up with anything. Nobody. In terms of corruption, that you stole government money, you arrange a ritual killing, you did this, you duped this man, nothing. So that is where Nigerians hope is. Yes, please. That's where their hope is.
Listen, what you are talking about suffering, sometimes the kind of suffering Nigerians suffer is unimaginable. You just cannot imagine it. Okay, but like with this Nigeria, we celebrate these people that are actually making us suffer. Okay, and we refused to build prisons for them, because these guys, this so-called political class, or what they call the elites, they are the criminal class of Nigeria, the true criminal class, not the armed robbers. Out of 100% of these so-called politicians, I'll say 90% of them belong to prisons. 90% is that much. Okay, but I want to ask you a question, an hypothetical question. What will we do if they ignore the Supreme Court? Because they can do anything. If they ignore the Supreme Court verdict or whatever it may be, and they carry on to inaugurate this man, what will we do as a body? Do we have any plan in place?
That is when the Nigerian people have been given a mandate by that verdict already. So whatever they do, that is them. It is going to be anarchy. That is automatic anarchy.
Every option is on the table. In fact, I can't. Anything can happen, because people, do you know why? I'm saying this, unless I may be wrong. Maybe somebody can correct me. Nobody knew NSAS will ever take place. Nobody knew NSAS will ever take place. And do you know why NSAS? Do you know, I can never believe in my life that there will be a protest, spontaneous, to the extent, because I watched it from here. There are sections of the death of NSAS. Food. People are commissioned to cook food for those people. If you want to eat, you go to the back or whatever, you eat and then come. People were taking shift day, afternoon, night. Cooperation. Nobody cares, because their system is that we don't want police anymore. We don't want disband NSAS. They are killing us. They are doing this. There was unanimous agreement. Everybody. And the way it was organized, if not that government came with in the midnight, put the floodlight off and then start shooting people. Do you know what could have happened? I mean, for the first time I heard that Nigerians were sitting down, holding Nigerian flag and singing national anthem in solidarity that they don't want NSAS again before they did what they did. I think this time, then there was no election. Nobody is talking of being rigged out or rigged in. This is just a case of people that are felt that police brutality is too much. This one, if it dare happen, I'm telling you, every option is on the table. It is anything can happen, and it could be it can start from
Amen.
anywhere.
Amen.
No, it's
I will
true
go home. I will go. I will listen. I will go home.
And then
I will fight for a change.
And then listen, add this to it. During NSAS, at least your 1 naira is your 1 naira. But with this change of currency, it made matters worse. Can you now believe that you are withdraw? You know, in those days, if you want to go to a bank and withdraw 10,000 from them, when they give you 10,000, you go. This time it's not even like that. People are now saying, "Oh, you want to take money, you have to pay this, you pay that." Now they've changed to new currency. Where is it? They are still spending old ones. You can't even see the new money unless you belong to a social class to go and spray. You see them spray. So the suffering, so many things have multiplied from NSAS suffering. NSAS was not economic hardship. It's just that police are killing people, checkpoint anyhow. So they call it NSAS. They don't want anything called NSAS, disband it. But in this case, apart from the economic situation, the insult, the voter rigging, the INEC impunity, man, everything, anything. That's why I'm saying God, who brought P2B and then galvanized Nigerians around him, this is the moment. Let those Supreme Court judges say, look, we've had enough, no matter money can buy us. Let us for once preserve that entity called Nigeria. Because take it from me, the moment they announce P2B winner, it will be as if there's a heavy sunshine and then there's rainfall. Everywhere we cool down. I believe so. Everywhere. People will just say, thank God. Irrespective of whether the next 6 months or things will be moved, but they will say, at least this is what we want. Let us now hold P2B responsible for anything that happens.
A lot of diasporans will come home as well.
Exactly.
To help.
And this is the first election I've seen in my lifetime that elicited the interest of those in the diaspora. Because people mobilize, people go and get your PVC, take this money, don't tell me you didn't go. You know, we are preaching everywhere. And then now is the time that if the condition at home is good, the capital that will flow into Nigeria from the diaspora is enough, at least to, make a little bit of a difference. Because I know most Nigerians, not me, I don't count myself among that are rich. They've made money, but they're afraid to go home.
Mr. Sim, I have a question. I don't know if you saw this news article today where the chief of defense staff, I think it was him, that said something to the effect that they are under pressure to carry out a coup or something like that. I don't know if you saw that news.
Well, I didn't see it, but then the military I think they should shut up. And I want to tell you this. They're under pressure to do.
No, I'm trying. I don't know.
No.
I think it's something to that effect, but I can't remember the exact words. I just saw it in passing.
If it is, let me just let's assume they are under a pressure. They can't resist it now because really, the thing about. I remember talking to somebody about military. People have forgotten that military is a profession. Military is like you have a chartered accountant, somebody being a doctor, a pharmacist, a nurse, an engineer, an architect. It's a profession. In Brazil, the military, Brazilian engineer their engineering course, they bid for contract to build bridges for the government and they collect money, they pay them. Do you know engineers military can do that? But in Nigeria, they feel that military is just there, another god to intimidate us. You see military on the road. That's why when I was saying somebody, I said, if P2B gets in, he should professionalize the military. Tell them this is where your role is. You don't see military out unless you see them going to the airport to enter one type of jet. They are going on foreign mission. Or you see them during an emergency, like when we have flooding all over Bayelsa, southeast, in those days. You see the military come out to help to do emergency services, evacuate people, help to construct a mini bridge for people to cross over, all those things. It happens in different countries. Military is not to be in between where civilian maybe see them maybe at you see military cock gun carrying in a populated civilian era. So military, they shouldn't insult our intelligence. They're not they're under pressure to do coup for what? You tell them no, it's not your duty. You tell them military can do that. You resist. It's not your duty to do coup for what?
They are the ones that led us here.
Yes, now probably you report those people. You warn them. Don't come to barracks and disturb us. You civilians, go and sort yourself out. If you don't want to do it, you tell us. Then we can also, maybe if it's whatever it. I mean, you don't. So to come and do what? You're under pressure to come and take over. Is that your duty? Take over from who? You don't do that. So in military, for once, let them be professional. Let them be not because they have gun. Let them be professional. After all, the gun they are giving is to maintain peace. I mean, is to maintain the security of the country. Protect the country from external aggression. The police is in charge of internal security. Mainly external is the army, gathering intelligence. So I don't see this idea. Nigeria, they have maybe they just fly that kite to see whether they can use it. What is military coming to do? It's not the doing that brought Nigeria to where they are and gave us a useless constitution that doesn't work, that tied us together. So they should not. Nigerian military is not something to write home about.
Nigerian military, their gun is to suppress the Nigerians. They don't fight wars to benefit Nigerians. We have our military to oppress us, keep us where we are.
Look at the Boko Haram, and they are telling us, cool. Look at the Boko Haram disturbing us. Military, if really our military, they are professional, they should have intelligence to know people sneaking into the country and fishing them out. That is the way it is. If you're a terrorist, I think you enter US, the military the intelligence should be able to detect you. That is the issue. And telling us they want to be in Aso Rock, take over power, start to appoint themselves military administrator, governor of Edo, governor of Anambra, Plateau. Is that what they are out for? Is that why they should stop that nonsense? It's no longer in fashion. That is one. Secondly, they should not even contemplate it. What they should be talking is to give Nigeria protection that we need, and then fish out all these Boko Haram. Look at our borders. Why can't they post them to the border? Why can't they go to the border every often? I said Nigerian border is manned by military, so that when you are coming in, they protect us, than to leave everybody vulnerable and then be quoting that they are under pressure from where? They're under pressure from themselves, no, not from anybody. It's even
With all
irritating
the
hearing
money, with all the huge chunk of money that goes towards security, whenever they are doing this security votes, and then they will say they are under pressure. How can they be under pressure?
Why can't we have the military? Excuse me. Why can't we have the military say military tender contract to construct rail? In China, they do it everywhere. Military, they operate, they bid for contract in the country and do it. I've given an example of Brazil. They bid for contract. Like that's like Julius Berger, we bid. It could be given to them. Because in the military, you see accountants, you see architects, you see lawyers, you see engineers.
My cousin.
Every profession is in the military.
Yeah, what
you see people that study mass communication, journalists, you can be everybody.
You've raised something. The Nigerian Air Force sponsored my cousin to do his master's and then his PhD in electrical engineering. So at what point will that come into use? At what point? Because you've raised something. Somebody said the only thing our military do, like you go to other countries, their military build equipment that they use to go to war. In our own, our military, they build bed. Is this metal bed? They used to.
Either in
I don't
India,
even think they do it now.
Either in India, they have pharmaceutical company, military run it, manufacture their own, because you can see pharmacists in the army, doctors. We all know this. They have their medical corps. You have engineers, electrical, mechanical, civil, anything, any part of engineering, chemical. They're all in the military, because even their warfare, they need all these people. You have architects designing things for them. You have accountants in the office doing the accounts for them.
Can I add, please? Don't forget the history of the Nigerian military as an organization. Most of these brothers and sisters that were the first people to come into the military, they were actually people like, I'll say, like in Yoruba, they'll say Omoita, people that are rejects. Not rejects, I don't want to use that word, but people that people will not identify with. Dropouts. So that don't have nothing to do. So that was like they pushed them in to come in. But at the end, it became advantageous to this set of people. That is how we even came into this problem where we are today. People that are not supposed to be leading us, they were now in charge of leading us in the wrong path. So that's why you see that they are not productive in any form or shape. Because they said when the foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? This foundation was laid wrong. The core of leaders of the military people were not people that were well to do. So they came in with that mindset, like this is like a last bus stop for them. And they now found out that there's power in this. With gun, they can do things, and they took over Nigeria. Just look at from General Gowon all the way to Moritala and all of them. These are Obasanjo himself. These are the core of people we are talking about.
It's true. You see, do you know why military is very useful? Because in Nigeria, they feel that they don't. When you have an emergency like flooding, like maybe earthquake or something like that, because military, they are trained during their training. They train them in the jungle way. Maybe you swim across a river from here to here. You swim, you go use the helicopter, drop you in a bush, thick bush, and tell you to find your way out to source. Those type of training, they all done it. So when they are in the military, if there is an emergency in any country internally, you invite the military. In fact, military, just use the best example is this flooding that happened in Nigeria last year. That is the only people you call on first is the military. They will come help to evacuate people, then start to say, we want to make a makeshift camp for them, because they know how to do all these things. They have the manpower. Then later, government will pay them. Government will pay the military as if you are paying Julius Berger. But in Nigeria, they don't do all those things. All they do is maybe come out and be collecting money. You see military mounting check roadblock. Why Boko Haram? It's not. Military is a very nice profession that I think in US they said if they see somebody, a veteran or this thing, that's a way they respect them. I don't know. Somebody was saying, say a soldier in the US military, oh, they give you regard because you are doing a great job for the country. Why can't it be like that?
Over here in the US, if you're fortunate to meet a corps, either the military, the Air Force, regardless of which arms of the force they have, you always, you just tell them thank you to your service. If you have somebody in your class that tells that they are veteran, whether in your class, at your workplace, if they have served before in the military, you just tell them, you just appreciate them for their service to the country. Now,
that is the thing.
If you're a veteran, whether serving or retired, if you go to stores, you have this military. There are different things for them, benefits because of their service to the nation.
Exactly.
And like you said, all that you said are actually on point. The military. So if you imagine most of the warehouses here in the US, if the military guys actually retire from their work and they serve before in the military, if they get to workplace, they always know them because they work with integrity. They work their work ethics is just different, very very different. You have them in, I mean, they are military, but you have them as pharmacists. You have them as
exactly. Every profession is in them.
everything.
Every profession. Lawyers,
So
you see them in the
you just
military. At
imagine
least,
that
yeah.
in Nigeria, we have this, we have the manpower, we have the resources, we have everything, but they've only probably maybe they just feel that their service is just to secure the nation alone. Like you said about the flood. If any flood happen in the US, the first people you see there, not even the army now, you first see the National Guard. In those cities, you see the National Guard in those cities just gearing up for the cities, just helping them to get things to get things ready for their cities. Then you now begin to see, I mean, during COVID, they release ship to go pick people and just help people. So the military is always leveraged on by the government in the case of emergency to do things. Apart from fighting war, there are other things that the military can be used for domestically in-house, like the case of the Bayelsa. But the question is, are those guys, do they even, in the first place, do they have the resources? Do they even know that should be their part of their responsibilities? Emergency rescue.
Do you know? It's because of the way Nigerian military is. That is why it don't attract people. Because I see it as just like somebody will say, I want to be a chartered accountant. I want to be a banker. Or I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an engineer. You can join the military and still be that profession because military is like another world. Look, military is, because that's why military, if you think, you remember I said military pay is higher than the usual pay they pay any other country in the world in terms of level of this thing, qualification. But you are in the military, they pay you a bit higher because military, apart from the fact that you are securing the country, they call on you when there is an emergency of anything. They call on you. The country will just say, let the military come and help us. Maybe it might not be fire outbreak in which the fire service will come and start doing, but issues that are so much, maybe it's becoming overwhelming, they bring in the military.
Like the Benue flood, the Bayelsa flood, all of those things.
Yes, Bayelsa, like, Anambra, some part of Anambra, Imo, Edo, Delta. You bring them. They flew with their helicopter, be lifting people to safety. And as they are putting them there, you see them constructing mini shacks. This is what they do. Because that is military. That is when you appreciate the people. You see people clapping for them because they rescued them. But in Nigeria, you don't. That's why you look at it. They don't look. How can you see a soldier, a military man, standing on the street road, controlling traffic, checking a paper, all these things they do in Nigeria? Bring money or I release a bullet.
Mr. CM.
Yes, please.
If you notice, I left the panel for a minute because I wanted to be sure of what I had said earlier.
Okay.
So it was in December when the military said they were under pressure to compromise the elections. So what I said earlier was something I saw on another platform, right? It was something I saw on another platform. You probably know the platform. So I thought it was recent information. So
anyway,
that's
you
I
don't
just wanted to
mention
be sure.
it.
Yeah.
I know the platform where it's known, so I don't know why people. And surprisingly, that platform, that is another thing again. Do you know what tend to surprise me? Sometimes you ask yourself, do Nigerians really want to rescue their country? Not really. Let us at the level where we are. I thought the essence of what we should be thinking is, we've been abroad. We've seen the way the system works. We've seen that there are things that does not involve money.
Maybe it's a platform I know. Wait,
I don't want.
we don't
No, no,
mention. We
please,
will not
let's not
mention the name.
mention.
Yeah, no,
I
we
know
don't mention the name.
you know you
Yeah.
already know it. So you see, I felt that there are things that do not require money. It's not everything that you use money to change. There are something that maybe by mere talking or example, the white people will live among them. Say in UK here, you you, the white people will live and look at this. Give us a mandate now what for you. So the white people will live among them. There are things. Everything cannot be money. So in Nigeria, the least we could do is to tell our people back home that this is the way things are to be done. This is the way. If they say start work by 8, try and be there 8 o'clock. It is not enough for you to say you come late and the boss does this every day. Try. Deprive yourself of sleep. If you feel by getting up 6:30, you will go late by 8 o'clock. Get up 5:30 and try it. Make it a point. That is the discipline, because over here nobody takes excuse. You try it and say no, 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 no. Even if you say anything, they say you just have to find your way. So things like this is what we promote. But like we are saying now, some platforms will be talking another thing and then be setting a different agenda. I will be surprised that in this day and age, military will be telling us they're under pressure to compromise this, or maybe come and take over, or maybe that type of thing. Not patriotic. It is in their interest to preserve the country that they swore, because they take a different types of oath. If you are in the military, there's an oath you have to take. If you are in the military and everything, the intelligence secret you won't the military secret you won't disclose it. In the case of an enemy, there are way. I mean, that is where the height of discipline you see it. But in our own case in Nigeria, you see the military, they look at it as a different. No, 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 no. It should be regarded highly. Professional, make the military professional, so that if you join it, you get all the benefits that you are required, give you all the training, and then you are not, in any country, the military, they are number one patriot of the country. I mean, I stand to be corrected. Anybody in the armed forces, they are the number one patriot of the country, because they are to defend the integrity of the country, defend you while we are sleeping. But in our own case, it's not always like that. I hope all these things will change. Really, Nigerians have suffered. The suffering is just way, way beyond too much.
Right. And sorry to interrupt, CM. Well, what I think the military should be doing is they should be providing security for.
Yes.
When you talk about suffering, sometimes I wonder, how do there was a gentleman that was with us about 2 or 3 weeks ago, one Igbo brother. How do people actually survive on their minimal or next to minimum wage? How do they do it when everything is like 6 times over? How do they survive?
They say minimum wage 30,000, a bag of rice 37. I don't know. You can imagine a bag of rice 37,000. I was told, though. I'm not sure, but it might be.
It's even more. It's even more. It's because somebody was saying it's almost like 40 something thousand in Benin. I'm from Benin.
Yeah, it should be the same now.
So with that and transport and school fees for children, how do people live?
That is the thing, and that's why Yahoo is this thing. Fake anything is fake. You can, low level stealing, depending, low grade animosity, low grade impunity. It's like the jungle. Whatever you do to exist, you have to, because definitely, I mean, who is it? Gordon's. This comedian is my favorite comedian. Gordon say, Gordon say, how you call it? He say, "Shower when no wear mini skate, hunger go kill him." So, 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 in Nigeria they do everything to solve. That is it shouldn't be. That's why it's as if Nigerians commit crime so much. I mean, something like Nigerians in Nigeria is because of all these things are survivalist.
Forced into it.
Just
Yeah, but
they
even
were
come to
yes.
think about it, Dr. CM. Now you just mentioned it.
Yeah.
I think in the earlier part of this broadcast, you were talking about people were talking about AIDS and HIV. I know before I left Nigeria, there wasn't
Okay,
things
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. How come that AIDS
So
and
common.
HIV now become rampant in Nigeria?
You know,
I
anyway,
saw that. I saw.
Sorry, Sim. Well, it's because everybody is trying to survive. That's why we got HIV and AIDS all over the place because the country is hard, and everybody want to fend for themselves. We got ladies who the family depend on them. So without them, the family cannot live. They can't eat. They can't feed. So they got pressure, and with the pressure, they're gonna do everything they got to survive, right? So that's why we got all kind of HIV situation going on, especially on the island.
My God.
But I saw that coming in the 80s when I was in the States. Back in the 80s.
Sorry, am I missing something about this HIV? Is there something coming up about? Is there something? Is it in the news?
The news, I think NAIJA mentioned it. He said people go to hospital. You know, in the hospital in Nigeria, before they won't tell you, even if it's emergency, whether it's typhoid or malaria, whatever you come in some hospitals or clinics, if they say they will conduct a test for you, maybe please, Adebi, mute yourself, please. Ebenezer, the noise is here. Thank you. So they said in Nigeria, if you go to a hospital, whether you are antenatal, anything, in some places, most hospitals, whatever test they are doing to you, they may not tell you, but they will include HIV and charge you for it. The moment they face screen it and it's positive, they come back and tell you, look, we are not going to continue. Do you know you are HIV positive? In that case, you will be shocked. See it, that I know. Because if you tell people willingly to go and do it, some may be ashamed, they may not do, some may pretend, but the moment you cross any hospital for whatever medical treatment, the hospital will like to do HIV on you so that they will be careful. And then to some, and they have to exploit it and tell you, do you not know? But no, it's true, it's common. But one thing I read in one WhatsApp group I belong to would be that they sent a lady, he was confessing. He said, not that this thing. He said, men approach him. They will tell him this. He will say, no, I need protection. If you don't use protection, he says, it's okay, I don't want this. He said, later she will cave in because she needed money. That's how they spread HIV. It's true. That's how. It's true. Yes, I told it. That's why.
And spread it deliberately too.
So you see, but there are things. In this case, there are what they call disease of poverty. There are stages you will be in life. You will be vulnerable to anything. You will be vulnerable. That is the stage Nigeria is now. Okay, child trafficking. Haven't you heard of people selling their babies or giving somebody off for?
Yeah, I've heard that. In fact, that child trafficking thing is huge.
So you see, ordinarily, how can a lady carry a pregnancy for 9 months, suffered childbirth, only to bring it out and say, because of money, I need money, or even disown the baby, give birth in the hospital and run away because he felt that I can't be able. When they say this type of thing, what can you do? A hospital, one clinic, I don't know, a hospital said they've abandoned up to 4 in their days. He said, one nurse was saying, though she's a reverend sister, but a nurse, he said, they were saying, sister, if I give birth now, what would I do with it? I don't have money. This was just all this. He said, don't worry, when you give birth, we make sure we take it to people that will look after it, take it for adoption. Then the woman was happy. The lady was happy. The moment she give birth, they are trying to say shower and do all this, all before they know it, he don't run away. Think that they didn't mean it. He left the baby there, go. So this type of something, when you hear it, you feel ashamed. And why is he doing it? Just to see money to eat, to take care of herself, at least personal hygiene. She hasn't got the money. So you see, Nigeria is in a difficult situation. That's why these people that are politicians, that are leaders, they are heartless. It's only somebody like P2B who came
More
and
than
was
heartless, brother. More than heartless.
exactly.
Heartless
It's only like
is not
it's
the
only
right word.
it's only what endured. That's why when people are looking at P2B, I say, look, even if people did not believe the man, there are things he said that will make you believe. At the height of ASU strike, I mean not ASU strike, where it was ASU strike, when students were at home, P2B said it. He said, our lecturers are our children are at home, our lecturers are not teaching them. Yet instead of negotiating with the lecturers, we are negotiating with bandits in Aso Rock. Don't you know that send a lot of message? P2B said it. He said we are negotiating with bandits, telling them what to do, give them money, while the lecturers who will teach our kids and are being left on their own instead of negotiating with lecturers. That was when he now said the oil theft in Nigeria. OPEC gave us either 1.7 million barrels a day or so. Then Nigeria is only exporting about, I think, less than maybe 5, something like that. Then he now checked. He thought was July last year. He said, if you check 31 days, what we failed to, what is stolen, multiply it by so thing in a dollar, then convert it to naira at this rate, it will give you about 1.7 trillion. How much is ASU looking for? 1.4 trillion. P2B, I think that was the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs when they were doing a Nigerian Bar Association addressed them. He said it's 1.4 trillion they are looking for. But July alone, the oil theft from NNPC in July was 1.7 trillion. He said that should have settled it and our kids will go back to school. So when you see somebody say this type of thing, even if anything, if you are reasonable, you say yes, at least. He opened our eyes and people now realize that they are really stealing our crude oil. Crude oil is being stolen. And then he pointed out that crude oil is not a sweet or candy you put in your pocket. NNPC is aware. Nigerian Navy that are manning the sea, our seashores, they are aware. And the ship is not only ship can be as big as a maybe bungalow or just one-story building, very big. It will come in the night and they will drill it, fill it with crude oil, then go and sell. So it's not
Skyscraper.
something that is thank you. And it's not something that you can fail that say you give if you put me in charge of your house, I wouldn't know when thief entered and through the window. No, but this is a case of the crude oil. The army is there because they have an army that even with the navy that guard NNPC premises, the high sea, the person that will drive the ship, and again you have to give them signal to come in because everything is checked. Yet they say crude oil is being stolen. So that's why the interest in Nigeria, and mind you, when this oil are being stolen, tell me which country we like to import crude oil from Nigeria officially than if not to go through black market and tell those people if you can steal it, then we buy it off you, and then those type of things. Just like going to in those days, if you are Igbo, you go and contact all these apprentice in a shop, in a motor parts shop. Maybe you break your headlamp of Volvo. Yes, it happens. I'm trying. Let me drive it home. You
Bring
go
it
to
to the bring it to the front. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
so maybe you're Mercedes, you are driving Mercedes, but you don't have money. So it happened that the headlamp got broken. Hi, you went there and priced it. Then they tell you of the price. Said then maybe the small boy who is there is always want to steal from the Oga. You say, okay, can you pay this? But I will bring it to so and so. He say, is that so? Yeah, you say if you know, but you won't get receipt. He say, no, okay, no problem. I don't care about receipt. Just get this one. Yeah. So instead of you to pay, if it is something of 1,000 naira, we say, give me 500, 450 or 500. So in the one weekend, we go and take his girlfriend out. They squander it. But the Oga will be running at a loss. You will like the chap as a friend because you got, you see, this is how crude oil is being sold. That is that is the deal. So in Nigeria we be losing. Why those people, officials of
Getting
NNPC,
richer.
are getting richer. So P2B saw these things and then pointed it out. He said, how can, he said, nobody, he said those in government are stealing our oil. Oil cannot be stolen by me and you. He said it openly. I mean, the tapes are there. So when you see this type of thing, why can't people gravitate towards him? That's why I was telling some proper people said, if Peter B is the president, this issue of ASU strike will be a thing of the past. He won't tolerate that because he will see them and say, what do you need? They will say this is the amount, and we find way of getting the money and give to them, say, go back to the school, go and teach our kids. But these people, they don't care.
Peter Obi is night and day from these people. He's not in their sphere at all. He's totally different. This is a man that have deep integrity. Okay, if this man even take over for just one tenure, you will see positivity in Nigeria. I'm telling you, you will see constant even electrification of Nigeria will come. This guy is serious. He's a serious-minded person. That's why if I have to go to war, I will for him, because I know what we want as a country. This guy has it in him to do it if he's given the mandate.
I think I even saw a video. I don't know how true that video is. That maybe Buhari called him, and then I don't know how true that video is. And Peter Obi, you know how this guy always talk about statistics, fact. He speaks to statistics, and that's what runs the country. He speaks the facts, like talking about figures and GDP and all of those things. I mean, if you actually want to get the best of Peter Obi, make him speak on those statistics and then those GDP figures of Nigeria, and then compared to the other countries and how those countries they move ahead, and then we having this vast land like Taraba and all of those places would have leverage on agriculture.
That is the thing, man.
We just depend on oil.
That is the thing.
I
And
mean,
we don't even account for the oil.
Over and over again, and he will not miss any word. I wonder how, and that tells you a man that has studied the economy of the world. Because now it's a global economy that he's studying now, not Nigeria economy alone. He studies global economy and then be able to bring those things home and then how it relates to Nigeria. But these guys are not seeing it.
It's true. It's true. So you see, that's why sometimes, because when I respected the man was that oil theft. To be honest, I used to hear this thing. I didn't know it was like that until Peter explained it. When he said, this is what OPEC give us to export, we are not even exporting up to that, because what we export is about maybe 1.2 million, which NMPC may not account very well. But the other one is stolen. And he said those ones that are stolen on a daily basis is this. Multiply it by 31, it gives you this. Multiply it by so amount in dollar, it gives you this. Convert it to Naira based on this, you this. That's about 1.7 trillion. He said, okay, how much is ASU looking for? About 1.4 trillion. So why? And this is the amount of the oil stolen that's not accounted for. So for a man to go to tell you this type of thing, and he's not saying it as one-on-one discussion, he's saying it openly before a conference. I think that was the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. He said it there. People were shocked. He said that's why when we plug the loopholes, we shouldn't be borrowing money from China. And again, he said he's going to Abuja to end wealth without enterprise. He met one industrialist in my local government. He told the man, he said, you've been manufacturing foam since God knows when. We call you Winko foam. He said, yet you are not a billionaire, because every 4 weeks you pay salary, you buy raw material, you run at a loss. Some distributors will steal your product, some will not distribute, some may be damaged, and you are managing up till now. Yet you are not a billionaire, but a politician will live here and go to Abuja under 2 years, he become a billionaire. Something like a Kweremad. Innocent of Newi, who is manufacturing, who has a factory, pays workers maybe over 1,000 or so, and do everything. He cannot afford to go to US and buy 3 houses, keep it there, go to, where's the Kweremad list? Because I have it here. 15 houses in Abuja. Innocent can't afford it. 10 in Enugu. 1 in Lagos, making 26, 2 in the UK, making 28, 3 in the USA, making 31, then 9 in Dubai. Which even Mike Adenoga, Dangote, they can't afford to be having houses all over because they have businesses, they have tax to pay, they have workers to pay, they can go at a loss. But Ekweremadu will sit in a air-conditioned office in Abuja and be having houses all over because when they bring budget, they may say instead of 300 million, make it 780 million. The 480 will be his own, he will dodge that one. So that is wealth without enterprise. That's what they do, and that is what P2B want to stop. He said it can't happen because it is him, P2B, that will approve what you will take. He said, if I did not steal, you cannot steal now. That's what
We will stop it, whether they like it or not. We will stop it.
Exactly. He said, if I did not steal, you won't steal because it is me that will approve, that will sign what you are going to steal. You know, the man, and that is a common sense. It's just patriotism, but it's not working. So that's why they do everything to stop him. P2B is coming for the poor people, not for the rich, because he said they will end wealth without enterprise. That is like of Ekweremadu, them, all these politicians you see. That's why Festus Keyamo bought a house in, was it not a thing somewhere in Texas? He was showing it the other day. That is the thing.
They said it's in Houston, Texas, somewhere in Houston area.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why it needs to do that. I mean, the neighborhood is not special. Well, so you know that. Yeah, I don't know why it has to though. Like there's nothing special about that. So you know the guy is not exposed because if you're exposed, you're not gonna be showing a neighborhood. This where I'm at. This where I'm at. This is my neighborhood. Like, come on, man. You're a government representative. You elected. You're a public figure. What are you doing that for?
Mr. Debbie, do you expect him to live next to Donald Trump to know
They
that
can't
the
even.
neighbor?
It's not that wealthy. Like how much money you got? The money is stolen. It's stolen anyway.
Oh, he doesn't have money. He only stole. Who was
exactly?
Mr. Skiamo? I mean, I know this. I mean, okay, so back then in college, we went. Festus Skiamo used to be like a charge and bill lawyers. You know those charge and bill lawyers, like the people that doesn't have. He was.
You see them in court.
Yeah, he was always carrying. He was always with Femi. With Gani Fahimi. He was one of the young lawyers that you can easily say maybe in 20 years, this guy will be the next Gani Fahimi.
Exactly. I don't know how it got.
This was sometimes in 2002, 2003 or thereabouts.
I don't
that you
know
say maybe in 10 years or 20 years, Festus should step into the shoe of Fahimi.
That was when he was prosecuting Agbado. When he was prosecuting
Tinubu. I expected a lot from the guy. Like I expected a lot from him. Like I was there when he was with Fahimi Chambers, and he was always on the good side, and he was always fighting. I'm like, this guy's gonna be great. But now it's a minister. Here we are.
But do you know why they MC? Do you know why they do that? The CM, sorry, sir. Do you know why they do that?
Yeah.
The reason these people, these good people, are compromised when they come close to these bad people is because there is no repercussion to these people that have stolen our money. From Babangida, Obasanjo, all of them, they've enjoyed ill-gotten money. So when these people are enjoying this money and these young ones see them, they want to emulate them. So they give away their conscience to these thieves, Bola Tinubu, and they not do exactly the same way. That's why when they say red, they say it's black. They see the truth, they lie. Keyamo is the one speaking for them now. He's their spokesman. This man that was supposed to be fighting, I met Ganifa, his boss in London one time, and I shook his hand. That man was outspoken for justice all the time. But this guy now has lost his voice. You know, the true voice of God in him.
Well. The chief is he was a senior advocate for the masses. He didn't care about the Nigerian side.
Okay, Gani was the person that I didn't. What was it? There's one important thing I remember Gani for. I remember Oputa panel. Yes, Oputa panel. So when they came to Oputa panel, the day Gani appeared to Oputa, I think that was in Lagos. It was a fire and brimstone, very dramatic. He said IBB must show face. He told Oputa openly. He said, no. He said, you can't send a proxy, you can't send your lawyer, because there were charges against IBB regarding a Delegiwa. Now, IBB sent his own lawyer to represent him. Gani said, no. How can IBB's lawyer will come and cross-examine somebody else, another principal, when I cannot cross-examine his own principal? Say it won't work. And Oputa agreed. Oputa held, he said, I fear that man. He said, no. He said he must show face. If he failed to show face, it means that his own lawyer cannot cross-examine somebody because he is not here to be cross-examined. Oputa said, and they looked at each other.
It got to. It's like, in fact, it's like here. If you got subpoenaed by the court, you got to be there, because if you got subpoenaed by the court or the Congress, you have to be there. There's no two ways about it.
If you see Gani and the people started clap, in court you don't clap. I mean, in that time you don't clap, but people broke the law. Everybody started clapping for him. Even lawyers in the opposite side. Gani said no. Gani said he agreed. He can send this thing. He can send a representative, a counsel to represent him. Yes, but that counsel cannot cross-examine somebody because his own principal that brought is not here to be cross-examined. At that point, I said,
no one man should be bigger than the law.
Exactly.
That is why today in the United States, ex-President Donald Trump has been indicted, because anybody should be under that same law. Everyone.
It's true. I think in America, I believe in their democracy because it's quite transparent. If they can even summon somebody as powerful as their president to come and that type what Trump is going through, it means that anybody, be you anybody, when it is your turn, you have your day in court. Well, I wish we could grow and see things the way, and that is why things are working. In our own case, we still believe in big monism and impunity. Otherwise, I do not see why we should be so backwards in civilization. Look at Nigeria. Look at we are remembering Gani because of what he did. Now nobody to take over from him and continue.
The man that was supposed to take over sold his conscience for peanuts.
And then
to buy a house in Texas.
And then,
it's a minister. The man is a minister now, man. You don't have no time for those people. It's in money. He sold his soul for peanuts.
But you have the answer, CM. You always say rule of law. That is it. Nothing other than that. We should strengthen our judiciary, strengthen our law enforcement agency, and then build a lot of prisons. And turn these prisons to like the American prisons where they work. We will make all these senators to be working there for peanuts.
Do you know actually the prison system? I don't know much about so many countries' prison system, but I know much about Brazil because I read something about it. They said in Brazil, if you go to prison, there's a massive library in the prison. The more books you read, they keep reducing your prison sentence. The books you read, and then they have a workshop too. If you can be able to learn a trade at the quickest possible time, whether it's mechanic or cloth or sewing cloth or carpentry work, anything. Say if you see their prison in Brazil, they rehab, because they feel that for you to go there and be, I think there was one popular author in Brazil. He learned how to read and write very well in prison. When he came out, he started teaching. From there, he became an author. So in other words, the prison is to reform you. They don't want you to go back to your old ways when you get into prison. That's why they make it that even if you are given 10 years or 5 years, there are activities you will be doing. Maybe you end up staying 4 or 3 points or less than 3 years because they've seen improvement that you've acquired a skill that will help you. It's in Brazil. But Nigeria, they've gone, You see, there are a lot of
We
things.
will
It's true.
suggest this to our president-elect when he comes in.
Proper,
We
yes.
will
Say,
build
look, make
proper prison, proper one with library, nowhere
and
they sleep on the ground,
for,
with all the facilities.
exactly.
When you come in there,
Mhm.
you will change your mind about being a criminal at the end of the day, because the people
And they will
think
tell
it's
you
only
the
bad people that go to prison. All these
criminality.
so-called politicians,
Exactly.
they belong there. I don't have respect for any
They
single one
belong.
of them.
I don't either. To be honest, I don't. And when you go to Nigeria, these are the people that are being worshipped. Can you believe a public officer becoming richer than a businessman? It's only in Nigeria. Eh? Somebody who say, I trade on maybe bags of beans and bags of rice. My own is to make profit. If I buy it 1,000 naira a bag, I can decide if I see somebody where I can supply it for 10,000, I make my money. Yet you, the person in public service, you'll be competing with me. To the extent, look at Ekweremada having houses all over the world. Can you believe that? That's I'm giving, just use him as one senator. You can imagine what others, all these are made Lawan, all those them, where are the senators? When you hear all Jews or Kalu them,
They take away the
Rochas,
incentive
Okorocha.
for people to work there. When you look
That
at these
is the
people,
thing.
that's why these young ones are doing yahoo. There's like, well, what's the need
That
of
is the thing.
slaving when these guys are
That is
stealing money like this?
exactly. That is the thing. You can't tell me that in America, that all these senators or politicians, public officials in Washington, they are richer than the real businessmen in America. No,
No
you
way.
can't. No way. So that is the thing. But in Nigeria, you find out that what is it
They are
called?
not
Public
richer. They are not
politicians.
richer, but they even do their job with passion. If you
Thank you.
see a member of the Congress sit and then talk about, in Nigeria, if you look at the house, the lower house and the upper house, when they are delegating on matters, presenting on the floor, they sleep.
Yeah. That one is come.
As in they sleep. Here in Washington, D.C.
No, we see.
Here in Washington, D.C., over there in Washington, D.C., these guys goes there like energetic, sitting down, making laws, because it affects the common man. But in Nigeria, they'll carry their agbadas and everything, and they'll be sleeping on some of you will be snoring on the floor.
It's happened,
When matters that relates to people's destiny are being deliberated on, they are snoring.
What do they do in Nigeria? What do they?
It comes to accountability again. They are held in the US. They are held accountable. These senators and the House of Reps, they are all held accountable by their constituents. When they come back home, they have to give report of what they have done. If they have not done anything positive, when midterm election comes around, most of them, even the incumbents, sometimes they find it difficult to return them back to Washington. That is why they sit tight to do the people's bidding. See, until Nigeria, we have to tell these guys they are our servants. They are not our masters. They are there to serve us. But it's the other way around in Nigeria. We are carrying their bag instead of them carrying our bags.
It's true.
It's just a matter of education.
Where you go, see the way. If you see it, what surprises me is you see the way the money, they take home. The money they take home, millions.
And then they say nay. Yes, you have it. And
Yeah, say I say
account.
The eyes have it.
Mr. MC, that is why they don't want. That's why they don't want Peter Obi, because our president is going to start from there. He's going to nip all those excess pay, and they know that that is the number one thing we do. It's coming in there whether you like it or not.
From his experience in Anambra, when he came out, they were asking him. He said, "Look," he said, "the real enemy of the people are all these civil servants." He said, "At Yoka, when I was governor, no matter how much you budget for Ministry of Education or any ministry, they have a way of raising a voucher to empty the whole thing. You can't hear them say at the end of the financial year, unspent money is 1,000. Everything. If you budget 580 billion for they will clear all of them. He said, then every time they want to go, P2B is a very. That's why sometimes maybe he's a victim of. He let a lot of things out of the bag. He said the first time they went to National Council of, is it not Council of State, in which all the governors attend? Yes, it's Council of State. Yes, cabinet is for ministers. He said he went. He said the protocol officer has arranged a charter flight from Asaba straight to this thing. The budget, you know how much it will cost? He said there are up to 30 people that accompanied him. And when he get there, all of them will be in the hotel waiting. Then only him and maybe his PA will go to Aso Rock for the meeting. When they finish the meeting, definitely they won't go back that day. They will like to lodge. And all those expenses they make is the governor that will pay it, because to write it off now. So at a point, Peter now asked the protocol officer, he said, I want all these people that we go to Abuja with, let them tell me their position and why they are going to Abuja with me. Peter said, at the end of the day, I found out that I'm the only person that's supposed to be in that place. They don't have any reason, because by the time you come back after the meeting, the hotel where they are lodged will present a bill. Millions, so P2B will pay Anambra State money. He said, no, it won't happen again. He told them, no way. Even to take a police officer from Oka to Abuja, he said he won't try it again, that he rather phoned the Mike Okiro, also the IG of police. He said, I'm coming to Abuja. Just make available 3 police officers that will follow me from the airport to where I'm going. When I'm going, then they'll go back. He will phone the director of SSS. He said, I'm coming to Abuja. Make available 2 intelligent officers that will follow me around, why, just for protocol purposes. He said, that's all. So he said in the end, it was only me and my PA that will go to Abuja. So that 30 has cut off. You see how he slice the money, save it for the state, and use it to be paying pension. So there are a lot of waste in the federal government. If P2B gets in, all these things won't be like that anymore. And that is why they are hell bent, because it won't be business. It's not a typical thief like them. Imagine if it's Ojus or Carlo that succeeded in being this thing, they may not bother. They will say, let him go. After all, he's one of us. So when we go there, the business continues. But Peter won't do it. He will be in Abuja and tell you the oil theft, you stop it, because they are stealing our oil. The Post Authority guest house in London that they are maintaining at a very expensive price, Peter will sell it, take the money and use it to say, who are those that are pensioners not paid? You put it in their pension. He knows how to manage money and doesn't want to waste. So it's a delight for anybody. He never borrowed kobo as governor of Anambra State, but he was able to save money. Yes, please. Paid everything and then save.
Peter Obi is comparable to John Magufuli of Tanzania.
Yeah.
The president. Listen, when that man came into office, the first thing he did is he said he went to the hospitals. There was a big hospital that accommodated about almost under 500 people. They were all sleeping on the ground.
That's true.
John Magufuli asked the people, the administrator of the hospital, why are these people sleeping on the floor? They said there is no money for bed. He looked into their budget. He saw how they were dividing the money. He took over the budget and appointed somebody, one of his aide, and they went to buy bed. He gave an order. They went to buy bed for almost 450 or thereabout people, that right there and there. And he fired the people that weren't doing their function, their job in that hospital. He let them go ASAP and downsized the place, and the thing was running efficiently from that point on. That is what Peter Obi is comparable to doing. I know that that man will do that. And in 5 years, see him, in 5 years, one single man turned around the fortune of Tanzania, or the Tanzanians. They build ports, they build airport, they have airline.
Let me shock you. In the world, They say there are first world countries like America, Canada, and all this. Then there are third world countries. There's nothing like second world. Though. Now, they are calling Tanzania and Rwanda, Egypt, middle income countries. Tanzania and Nigeria are not in the same class. Tanzania, yes, quote me. No. Instead of saying, they have their diplomacy. They have first world or developed world like America, Canada, Switzerland, all those. Then they have third world where Nigeria is a landlord. So they are not talking of say they say because we are landlord because we are not going to leave it anytime soon unless P2B.
By the grace of God.
Landlord, every tenant can pack out. You will be landlord.
You still be there.
House. That's why you are a landlord. Can't, even if earthquake they come, tenants go they pack they go.
You will be landlord.
You will be landlord to go find way say now my house now where I go pack go now me get you go there. So Nigeria is done the kakaraka for third world. We are not moving anywhere. We are not moving anywhere. So Tanzania, they say na middle income. When you see, in fact, anyway, you know more about Tanzania, how that country changed almost overnight. That is what it takes a leader who is patriotic. What of their mining? If you now find out that Tanzania, I think they have there's this mineral, I've forgotten the mineral. British
Tantalite.
Yeah, something like that. British
they use it for mobile phone charging as well.
Yes. But the royalty they are getting was like pittance. The guy now have to look into it and said, no, you are cheating us. He changed it. So money started coming in. If you see the airport they are building in Dar es Salaam, their capital, massive. And not just that it is massive, but you have this feeling that you are in a European country when you are in something like in their airport. But Nigeria, we still have to do with either candle or torchlight.
This man bought a fleet of jets for the country's airline. Nigeria had Nigerian Airways. Ours is not working no more. But other countries are popping up now with airlines. While we are taking their what a shame.
I don't know what happened to Nigerian Airways. Like what happened?
They ate the money, brother. They ate it.
So Nigeria
Airways. They sold the jet for themselves.
Say Nigeria Airways. Do you know they say in those days in Nigeria Airways, maybe the minister for aviation or something, they go you with his girlfriend, and the girlfriend won't go London. You go just phone the MD of Nigeria Airways for Ikeja. Say the flight going to London will be leaving in the night. He said make you wait you. There's a passenger in the send. He there with his girlfriend. Then go. No, it's true. Then go grant the aircraft go wait now. When the girlfriend never enter, but the money MD go say okay, then they wait. Then go
level of impunity.
Not be today now. Then go send the girlfriend with the driver. When he reach airport, you go say everybody they wait. Immediately enter, then go. As in they come back from shopping from London. All the goods, first you have to be extra luggage now. You can't just carry the normal kg. You go come with extra luggage, and as they reach airport, so you have the tag protocol sticker. That protocol means it cannot be custom no go fit challenge.
Oh, cannot be. Yeah.
Protocol. Maybe in a 6 luggage, any number where you carry come, they will carry and go. Meanwhile, those ones they didn't pay. You didn't pay. So how can Nigeria Airways make profit? Tell me. How can if they tell you the story of, I think Delegiwa wrote it in Newswatch then, if they tell you the story of Nigeria Airways, you gonna say, look, no be today, all these things no be today. This is how it is done. First, they will carry overload. Say I ain't get girlfriend, we want go London, go shop. So make way for him. Say when is the London flight leaving? Leaving this is say please let him delay. Then go your delay flight. You go there. Ask people and I say Nigeria Airways they never they delay.
What person?
When you get connection.
Do you know, sir? Do you know that if you enter Dubai Oh my God. Honestly, my experience in Dubai, like I was telling, I wish I can be going to Dubai every month. Like
that
that.
Dubai again.
Oh
Dubai
man. Oh man. You
to,
enter the
I said,
airport.
they said
Oh.
UAE came to Nigeria to help them pay salary sometime. Nigeria gave them money. Nigeria.
You know what? You
Yes,
know
now
what?
not
You know what?
making
Thing one man talk, Augustine. You know what? We know one Dubai guy, one of their sheikh, waiting the man talk. He say Dubai is not richer than Nigeria. Okay. The fact is that Dubai leaders, they love their people. That is why they did right by their people and they gave them the very best. Why Nigerian so-called leaders or misleaders per se do not love their people. That's why the same amount they are making, you don't see anything for it.
Exactly. No.
Honestly,
Simple as
I
that.
entered Dubai when flying en route. Fly en route to Dubai to United States, and we stopped in Dubai. I was like, you
You
honestly,
didn't believe it. You didn't believe it, huh?
that night was like my brother.
Nice, I know.
Oh my God.
They use Bugatti, Their police uses Bugatti, Ferrari.
Mm-hmm.
I say that night when I look at the window of my hotel room, and I just look at my window. I look out my window. My God. My God.
See now,
Honestly.
you are talking of Dubai. Thank God you mentioned Dubai. Now, those Dubai, their politicians or their people developed that place so that everybody to make their
Can
country
come
proud.
there.
Now,
Tourism.
their own equivalent when they are to buy 9 houses.
Look at that.
You see
Look at that.
you see the difference.
He made them richer.
Okay, Festus said he came
9.
to Texas for vacation. What happened to Ogudu Ranch?
Sapele in hometown. Sapele, waiting be good.
Can't he go and
Why make
like
him go Sapele?
Madam Rita said if
He
Donald
didn't
Trump
carry money
leave
to go buy a house. He carried our money to go buy a house there now. He
now
gave them money.
if Donald Trump leave Washington DC, he goes to Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago is Florida. That's a kind of estate that Trump bought there. Trump does not have to fly out of the United States to go and relax. He flies back to Florida, Mar-a-Lago. Now, Hawaii is part of United States.
Yes.
Obama, whenever he needs
goes
to
to
go
Hawaii.
vacation, he goes to Hawaii. He
Yes.
doesn't have to fly out of the United States.
Yes.
Festus Keyamo, Minister of Labor. How many jobs?
Junior minister.
Has he provided in the last month?
Why can't he go Sapele
vacation and left
go
Nigeria
relax?
to Texas because of vacation? What happened to
These
Ogudu
are not
Ranch?
patriots, brother. They are not patriots. Okay, these people
Man.
don't care. They don't care about their people. They don't care about the country called Nigeria. All
They
they care
don't
about
mean
is
well
their
for the country. They don't mean
okay.
well. They don't care about the people really, because when they
You
go
see,
into
Peter Obi,
politics,
let me tell you one story.
it's all about them.
Let me tell you guys, let me tell you one story about Peter Obi. What happened? He went for a speech. I think it was in Dallas. They invited him, the diasporan brothers in Dallas, they invited him. They bought him, they went to get a suit for $2,500 for this man.
Okay, yeah, I think
The brother turned this suit down and told them that they should go look for something moderate. They now said, okay, what is moderate? They said anything 200, 150 or whatever. They said no, 200 is too cheap. Okay, we go somewhere. They bought him a suit for $250. Okay, he asked them, can you issue me the remaining of this check? They said yes. They gave him the 2,500, 2,250, and they gave it to a charity. To a woman that needed the money. Today, that woman spent that money so many times over. So that's what a good leader, a person that cares for his country and his people, does.
The
So
man
That's what a good person does generally. A good
Sorry,
person
let
does
me
that.
ask you. You mean he did that when he came to Dallas?
I think in Dallas, yeah, one of the place he went to speak.
I think yes, I heard
Wow.
about it. Yeah,
Wow.
Peter. No, Peter is like that now. Do you
My
know?
God.
You know,
When I heard that story, I was like, man, this guy got my man with that all the way.
Peter Obi said, listen, Peter Obi said that when Jonathan was in power, the phone and Jonathan wanted to go to South Africa. Was it during the death of Nelson Mandela? I don't know. Was it during Mandela's time that this guy died? I think Mandela died during the time of Jonathan or something. I
I
don't
think
know
so.
what
Yeah. Around that time, he was still alive then.
I think so. So the Jonathan wanted to go. So he wanted P2B to accompany him among other selected people. So P2B phoned them from workers. The protocol said, in joining Jonathan, did they have a flight waiting so that we join it and go? They said, no, you have to find your way, take a flight, come here, then book your own flight. Peter said, I have to book my own flight. He said, yes. He said, in that case, I have to find my way. Peter went and booked economy class from Lagos to Johannesburg. Now he asked them, said, is there any reserved hotel for? Yeah, he said there's a reserved hotel for all of them, and the so and so this thing. Peter said, who will pay? He said, of course you have to pay, but they want everybody to be together so that when we are going, Peter said no. Peter said no. If you are paying, no problem. But if it's for me to pay, he said, because they said, the protocol officer then said, no, we want to be together in one hotel so that we move in a group. Or Peter said, don't worry. Whatever time you want me there, I will be
Let
there.
me know.
Peter went so Peter went
Wow.
Peter went somewhere.
I'll find a cheaper hotel.
And find a cheaper hotel. He said, look,
Mm.
for me to pay that type of so many $1,000 a night, he said I won't sleep because it will be as if they stole my money. So I can't be able to sleep. He said, maybe you can sleep, but for me, I can't be able to sleep if I pay such money.
Yeah. He said, why will he buy a house in the USA? Is he an American? Have you seen an American come to Nigeria to buy a house?
But you see, this goes to this sense of inferiority complex that our politicians have, and it's mostly got escalated during this Buhari regime, because like you look at America every summer, where do most Americans go to during the summer and during spring breaks? They go to Mexico. They go to countries in Latin America that are way poorer than them, and the reason why they go there is for the weather and for the tropical conditions in those countries, right? Which is what we have in abundance in Nigeria. Someone made mention of Obudu Ranch. As corrupt as we accused Goodluck Jonathan to be, I never heard that man went outside for a vacation. Obasanjo never did the same. The only person who started that, even Abacha, as wicked as he was, never did.
Never did.
That one couldn't go anywhere. They were looking for him everywhere.
Exactly. And then they will grab him now. They just grab him.
They were looking for him everywhere.
So this crop of leaders that Buhari introduced to us are people who just like vanity. They can, as in, they just, it's like you have money and it's pushing you to spend it. How can I spend this money in such an ostentatious way?
Do you know why sometimes when I'm talking about P2B, I face to this. P2B will be going to any function in Abuja when he was governor. Now, because there is what they call Anambra State, every state has a building or the governor's lodge or whatever in Abuja. Peter said no. Anambra governor does not need to have a lodge in Abuja. He don't live in Abuja, maintain it with big money. He went there and told the people stationed there, even the cook. He said, whenever I come there, the cook will ask me for 50,000 naira to prepare my dish, meal I will eat. He said, why should I pay 50,000 when with 5,000 naira I can go to Nikon Nogaheten and eat buffet, eat everything. They will wash the plate, they wash their spoon, wash everything. But I bring. He said no. He said the cook, you are going down to Oka or you lose your job. All the drivers there, he said they used to keep 5 drivers for governor in Abuja station, permanent. Whenever I come to Abuja, they will come to the airport causing confusion everywhere. So he said when he saw all these things, he sold the no, he didn't sell the house, but that man knows business. He told all the workers, it's either you come to Abuja and take assume and work and receive your pay, or you consider yourself you don't want to work from here, I sack you, you go, because we are not going to retain you here. So all of them came down to Oka. P2B said he used that office, that building, and gave it to United Nations. People said he does. He said no. He said with it now he was getting he got more than
He was getting
enough
salary.
benefit.
He was getting rent
From
for the state.
UN. Now, but that is not the issue. He said whenever he goes to Abuja and it happens that he will sleep, that man self, he will go to, there's this motto they call it the young shall grow. The owner of that boss is from Anambra State. That the young shall grow has a hotel in Abuja called I think is in Newcastle Hotel, something like that, or Chelsea Suit. I can't remember the one. So Peter will phone the man, the owner of the hotel. He has his phone number. He said, my governor, he said, I'm in Abuja. I need to sleep in the hotel. I need a discount. That's governor. Yes, he said it. He said it. The man will say, the man will say, okay, let them give you. He said, I'm your governor. Why should you take that amount? I'm not asking free. I'm your governor, looking after your state. You should give me, be able to, he speaks low voice. The man will laugh and say, take. Just to save money as a governor. What?
And humility, very humble.
When he became governor, he said whenever he comes home, his cook in Oka, everything is. They will come to him. He said they brought normally when you want to buy anything, they prepare the budget and bring to him. Peter said, what is it for? He said, we have to kill cow every day. Peter said, why? He said, no, that is the way it is done. That is the way it is done. We kill cow every day for governor's lodge in case of visitors that will come, everybody. He said, he asked the chap, say, have you ever seen me come back here with anybody? Is it not just me and versus my wife? And my wife cooks for me. Say, from today, no more killing cow. That money saved.
My God.
That money saved. When Ngige was governor in Anambra State, Peter said when he resumed, he discovered different places in Oka, guest house. Governor will lodge women there every time. That's why when you visit, they say go there and stay. Peter said, how can a governor be having guest house in Oka? He said, I live with my wife. I wake up in the morning, take my bath, come to work. When I finish, I go back to her. I don't have need for all these guest houses. All of them sold. He took the money into pension and the gratuity. This was all he was doing everything until he said every week, every month, they will bring about 30 million, the cost of petrol. Peter will say, he say, hey, all these cars, all these your cars attached to governor's office, we have to buy petrol. We have to have fuel dump, because if you don't have an underground tank where you dump fuel, Nigeria, before you know it, there will be fuel scarcity. Peter said, he said, okay. Peter said, okay, let us reduce the number. I don't even need all these more than
Vehicles.
20 cars. I don't need them. I only need 5. One for me, one extra, just in case. One for my protocol officers and the journalists, one for the Department of Social, the SSS, and one for police. Say these are the things I need. I don't need any other car. All those ones could be taken to different ministries, all this. So Peter said at the end of the day, they brought something close to almost 13 or 14 million again for petrol. Peter said, where is this thing coming from? He said, sir, is this, we still have to buy petrol. Peter said, okay, no more buying petrol unless I'm in the car. If we are traveling, he said, no more buying fuel. Nobody will.
They were still buying ghost petrol for him.
Peter said, now maybe they help themselves. Maybe they will even tell their friends to come and be taking petrol. That is government property. They can tell your friends, come on, I give you petrol, you pay me. They sell it. So Peter said, okay, since you said these are the amount I consume every month on these cars. So from today onwards, nobody should buy any petrol. We are not doing fuel dump again. Unless I'm in the car when we are going, all the petrol station in Oka, when we buy fuel there, I will pay them direct. They will leave. So the guy, if you see his wealth, you will hate him.
He stopped all the leaks.
And then, and that's why, because he want to save money. That's why he never borrowed money.
God will bless my brother. God will bless him.
The one that shocked everybody was, He said, you know, I'm governor of Anambra State, and there are so many billionaires in Anambra State, and most of them are my friends. So they will phone me, say, hey, Peter, since you became governor, I've never seen you. Make an appointment. I want to come and see you. Please make time for me. Peter will say, don't worry, I will come to your house in the evening. He said, if I finish from work, I tell my driver we are going to the man's house. When I go there, they will entertain me, give me drinks,
Instead of him entertaining
give me champagne. Sometimes when I'm going home, they will even give me extra bottle to take home. Yes, I can take it home, but don't come to government house because I do not have what it takes to entertain you.
Oh, that's great.
Oh my
Because
God.
those cows they were killing every day, they used to feed those such people when they come in to visit the governor.
They will even some of them will even take some of those cows to their families at home.
Listen, no, the thing you have to know is that if they are selling a cow, then 150,000 naira. Let's say you and me
Every
want to go and
day.
buy a cow. Do you think that those people supplying to government house will be taking 150? It will be 250. They will write it 250 every day. So that is the million. Peter said no. The man did. He said that's what he told his friends. Hey, Peter, I want to come and see you. He said, don't worry, I will come to your house in the evening. I will come and see you. So instead of you coming to him, because when he comes to your house, you entertain him. So
That's great. That's great.
he said, don't come to government house.
So, brothers,
I do not have what it. Yes, please.
sorry to interrupt you, brother. Please, I know you guys are on the job and you are doing a fantastic job gathering us together every time. Praise to Elvis and yourself. Please, no matter what comes out of this, we bind together and
It's
make
true.
sure we bet this new Nigeria. Not
It's
just
true.
talk about it. It may cost our lives. I pray it don't. But if it
I
has
pray,
to, so be it.
In
My
fact,
name is Kingsley Igbinosa. I lived in the States for 17 or 18 years. If I tell you what I wanted to do at one point in America, if I tell you, you will run. I almost went into Michigan to join the Malaysians to get a special training on being a sniper, and then coming to Nigeria to do some house cleaning. No joke, seriously. I know it may
it's
have
true.
cost
Yeah.
my life. But see, when I take out 3 or 4 or 5 of these so-called top people that call themselves top people, and then
They will
send to
see.
CNN, everybody, all of them will evacuate. They will leave by themselves. Most of these guys are cowards. That's one thing you should know. Most of these so-called Tunubuna, they cannot stand heat. So, but I'm just going to leave it at that. I have to sleep because I'll go to church in the morning. Yeah. God
It's
bless
true.
you guys.
Even
I love
myself, I
you
want
all my brothers and
I think so.
sisters. Stay strong.
Not to,
Please don't
not to
give up.
worry. No, we
All
are
my
for
brothers
we
in
are
the
good.
States, God bless you. Stay strong, guys.
Have a good
Exactly.
evening.
Yeah, you
Bye-bye.
too.
Good
Thank
night.
you, Kingsley. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Hey, probably gentlemen. Ed, you are still there. Probably you people have tried.
Yes.
It's quarter to 15 minutes to 4 a.m. in the UK.
Wow.
I don't know
Yeah.
what it
Wow.
is.
You need
Yeah,
to go.
so
We have to shut you
Yeah.
down now.
Right,
You
right.
tried.
It's 9:45 here where I'm at.
It's
okay.
10:45.
PM.
Okay,
PM.
you guys are in the central time zone. I'm on the
Yeah,
East Coast.
Oh, okay. I'm on the
yeah.
central time
Okay.
zone.
I'm in Illinois. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Okay.
Wait. I was
Illinois.
Illinois. I was reading about this what they call it, teen outrageous, what they call it, teen rampage, or
Oh
I
yeah,
don't.
yeah.
No, is
It's
that not where
They
Tinubu
they
went to
um
school?
they
oh,
they they they
Tinubu.
what happened is right after the COVID, right? The
Yeah.
police the police they got short for manpower, so we don't have a lot of police force out here, and so they stopped prosecuting petty crimes like stealing, breaking into cars, stealing
yeah.
cars, and whatnot. And so those petty crime they don't prosecute no more. Those kids they get emboldened because they know the police not gonna do nothing anyway when they get caught. So they just start acting like clown.
Yeah.
It's true. You guys in US. Anyway, you people are really You people are really distant. I know I respect Nigerians in US because they are the best. I had the best immigrants you get in US are Nigerians. It's not even a Nigerian that told me. Somebody from Zimbabwe told me. He lives in Michigan. Said so. So you people are trying. How many of us? So please, I think we can reconvene tomorrow if you when you have time. But I think I should be going now. Our mandate.
Yeah, I mean, you've done a
You are
good job,
you are
Mr. CM.
you are in Texas. Ed is in North Carolina.
North Carolina, yeah.
North Carolina. Adebi, are you in Texas too? Okay, Illinois.
No, I live in Pensacola, Florida, but right now I'm in Illinois just for like a week and a half for work. So I'll go back to Pensacola.
Florida. Ah, the
Florida,
Sunshine State.
yeah.
The Sunshine State. Florida is a nice place. You know where they have this? Orlando. I like the name Orlando.
Yeah,
The
Orlando.
name
That's
of
where
this.
they got Disney World. Right?
Yeah, very very popular. Disney World, world renowned Disney World, Orlando. Yeah, you guys are really. Nobody is in California from here. Anyway, California is another distance. Hey, so any day I come US, I will have so many people to talk to.
You do,
Call
man.
this,
You do.
call
We're
this.
waiting for you, bro.
Depending on the time zone. But you get as a bill, person leave Nigeria, go abroad, you never chop American burger. Say get as it be. If I go Nigeria, they tell them say I go abroad, they say, why you never chop America, never visit US. We try.
You got to. You got to. We'll be here.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna take you to a Nigerian restaurant. We got a lot of them here too.
No. The thing is that if you go, no, we are used to. The thing. People said if you go to somewhere where you have variety, you start from those type of food where you need to chop all the time. Nigerian restaurant is it not? It's good anyway, but
You're gonna
I would.
you're gonna be eating pumpkins like the other lady over there.
Okay, you're not really
Pumpkins.
pumpkins. No, what I want is these are layers of burger. The McDonald's we have here, they say they've removed all the fatty material in it.
Oh,
So
okay.
just to have a taste and see what really makes America America.
Yeah, but I think the Europeans are very careful about what they eat. So
Yes.
while the American food industry to an extent is driven by the need to make profit, so they just give you anything. But in Europe, I think you guys have the
It's
better
true.
version of everything.
It's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
That's why Americans are fat. Too
Yeah,
fat.
it is. It is.
It's true. It's true. The lady we lived here in UK. Later, she got married and moved down with the husband. They think they're in Maryland. He told me, he says, yeah. Say, do you see all those things we see as 1 liter? This one are medium, this one are small, this one are big. It's all those they are small here, all those they are big in UK. Now medium here, or maybe you go reach medium. I say, eh? He said, come and see their juice. So
Yeah.
they tell me, say very very heavy. No, America is a nation of excess now. You people are good at
Yes, actually, and when you talk about America, it's even worse in Texas, where give us our mandates is because there's a word they say in Texas. They say everything is bigger in Texas. So there's this fast food joint in Texas that's called Whataburger. Those people, if you see their burgers, oh my god!
I know,
It's
give
on another
us a
level.
mandate. Give us a mandate. Who like this? Okay. What
He
I heard
knows
is
now.
yes,
He knows
yes.
that it's something
Somebody
everybody
knew.
knows.
My friend, he told me. He said Texas is different because their roads even wider.
It is. Their
Everything in
speed
Texas
limits
is
are
bigger.
higher. Everything in Texas is bigger. It's actually the biggest state in the continental US. Alaska is the biggest state overall, but it's not like contiguous with the remaining 49 states.
That's why Nigeria has to work. Now, I tell people that if you leave someplace maybe 10, 20 years ago, if you go back there, you should see an improvement, right? Like maybe new things done, the roads are good, everything. But the reverse is the case in Nigeria. I was fortunate to visit Nigeria maybe I think 2 years ago. the places where I grew up and then probably went to school and all of that. Oh man,
even me, I studied. Do you know that some of you? I don't to Lute Teaching Hospital in Lagos. Have you?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know whether any of if you know. Okay, yeah, if you know Lute, you know that Union Bank that used to be in the College of Medicine used to be the bank in those days when we studied there. So it so happened that I don't know the year I went to Lute. Lute become another Teju generator here, photocopy machine here, then the sell puff the other side, every corner na business. Hey, I started talking to myself. I said, what is the meaning of this? One man was looking at me, thinks say I dare mental. He says, are you okay? Are you all right? Yes. He said, what is it? I said, so this is Lute. You know, in the under the sun, heavy sunshine. I stood by, if you know, anyway, just beside that Union Bank. I said, look at everywhere. I said, Lute wasn't like this. In those days, if you don't have lecture, you can come and be looking at the gutter. You see the water. You know, I was in Lute when they use brush to the scrub or to scrub the gutter. Everywhere, water will be running freely, and we'll be watching it. Small fish go just they swim. I said, look at Lute everywhere. It's so congested. The different building, rubbish everywhere. People are sleeping on the passage. So when I was in the man, I said, I studied here, but I left. So he said, no, enjoy Lute. Now Lute don't spoil now. Then I went to their laboratory. I shed tears. I said, this is Lute. They said, say Lute don't spoil everything. Then what will then make you know that Lute is really no more Lute is every door must have a burglary proof. Every door. Even lecturers' offices, burglary proof. And I asked them why. They said there was a time thief was taking all the air conditioning Lute.
Imagine something as big as that. You just come and steal it like
is he not a reggie? They will take it. I said, okay, if they take it, because in Lute in those days, if you are driving in, they will open your boot at the gate. Look what you are taking in, ask you where are you going. But even if they didn't open your boot, the moment you are coming out, whether through Mushi Gate, the one that lead to Mushi in the north, or the one that lead to College of Medicine, or the one from the teaching hospital, Idiaraba end, I mean, Ujuelegba coming from Ujuelegba end, the moment you passing through, they will open your boot. Everything there, you must account for it. Unless they open it, they know that it's not loot property. So, but how can they be removing air condition from Lute? They say, air condition here. There was a time they were removing air condition thieves. I say it's not thieves. It's the people here arranging to take it. So Nigeria is it's true. You will feel ashamed. Come to Lute everywhere. The only thing that they didn't remove were all those trees, that gave it a semblance of Obodo, So those trees and that type of coconut, it's not coconut tree that grow tall. They're all still there. But every empty space, either they put one small something there. You see this malam where they carry tin, to fetch water, one go entering Lute. I say, what?
I think they call them Merua. No, Merua is the one that fetches water.
Yeah, but
Mesha
is the one that sells.
Yeah, Mesha.
Mesha is sells tea. Merua is the one that fetches water.
Yeah.
From Mushi end, they enter. I say, where are they going? They say they are going to Lute to supply. I say, what? I said, is there no more tap flowing everything? They say, sometimes you go walk. That you have to fetch water to wash. I look, Lute became like a refugee camp. To be honest, this is just the best way. Ask her if you like, phone anybody in Lagos, say, they ain't go Lute. Refugee camp. I shook my head. I said, so this is Lute. That when you take photo in Lute in those days, you go tell people. If you go village, you go tell them, say you travel to California, US. Now when you take this, they don't know say na inside Lute. It's true. It's a shame, really. So the glory of Nigeria. Let's just hope that Peter B gets in, and then let's have our sanity. and live like human beings. All this idea of bringing thieves to make them put thieves in charge. So they will steal crude oil. The money they realize from NNPC is not enough. They have to steal crude oil, sell. It's a shame, really. It's a shame. Well, gentlemen, thank you for your company. Let's go. What is the name? Busy Brand. You go down sleep now. This is UK. Then Victoria go down also sleep. They're in US with you now. So I want to make we shut down. Give us a mandate tomorrow now. Well, it's
By
already
God's grace.
today.
By God's grace. Thank
By
you so
God's
much.
grace, we will catch up. Eddie, may they show up now. Not only today I see you here for you.
I show up from time to time.
Ebenezer, I be like say your own now weekend you there, you know they show up.
I try to as much as I can. It's just the time, but I've been consistent a little bit, pretty much since I started coming into the panel.
Because it helps. If leaders are listening to us, they should have known what the people want and draw a manifesto from what we be. And they know exactly what to do. But anyway, it takes somebody who is patriotic to realize that they need to put the country back on the shape. But as for now, Nigeria is a hopeless case. But hopefully, something will surely come. All this obedient movement and all these things, people have spoken. God will hear our prayer and then make sure that Nigeria did not go to the way all these thieves wanted to go to. Hey, how many guys educational? Sorry. Okay, so let me be going. So see you people tomorrow. Let's shut down.
All right.
Good night, everybody.
Right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Y'all have a good night.
Okay, you too.
And you too. You too. Good night. Yeah. Is it Brian? Sure now. Yeah, thank you. Busy Brian? Are there? Nobody. Anyway, then we wake up to realize that we've all gone.